What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. It's Tony Jack with my boy Doc. We'll be back in a few ticks, like literally a few ticks, because, yeah. You had something to say, brother? Go ahead. Speak your shit.
Nah, you already know. Just saying what's up to everybody. What's good, y'all?
Doing the game, I'm standing out in the crowd. Also hard, gotta stack that can't stop my vibe. Got the beats banging, speakers bumping loud. I'm the king of the game, I'm standing out in the crowd. I'm so hard, gotta stack that cash. Yellow tape wrapped around, I'm making a splash. My flow so hot, it's burning up the scene. When I step into the room, you know what I mean. Yellow tape, yellow tape, yellow tape, yellow tape. We on fire, we the ones in charge. Ain't nothing time. Turn it up, let the beat drop low. Yellow tape everywhere, it's our time to show.
Practice. I can show you practice. I can show you how to put $1 million in a mattress. I can show the difference between an icon and a classic. Baby in the major should be rolling in a basket. I'm advanced, and it's a lot of dance. From anywhere, my jury jump like John Moran. And Kif Tower Shorts got me tanning with the babes. You would be a surfer if you ever had this wave. I just switch up my cabana, they throw shade. Matter top 5, the top wives know I'm the fade. And throw them out the loop, I'll be mute, playing cute, nothing to say to you. Cause when I'm back home, I'm like Kyrie, I won't play with you. This is magic with the fur. Tim Duncan on the spur. Tanya Harton on the skate. This that Kobe number 8. This the kick over the head in the hand of Sue Bird. This boy's superb. All I got is 2 words.
Tony, Jackie.
Black.
What's good, y'all?
Black Republican.
The Black Republican. Tony Jack, the Republican in black. It's funny though, because I really don't care. It's like you know what they say with religion and politics. I really don't care who people run with in terms of politics. I don't care who people run with in terms of religion. I don't. But this shit, like this year, for some reason, the Dems is coming out. The Democrats coming out. They sound a real and it's not Democrats. It's the liberal Democrats. What's good, Dad? Appreciate you, bro. Good morning.
I don't know, and I mean, I say that we put titles on shit, and you know what I mean. But if you look at what's right and wrong in the world and where we came from, you know what I mean. We gonna go by. We don't choose sides according to that. We choose who's the better fucking candidate, who's the better person. You know what I mean? Who's doing something that's going to benefit us in the long run. You know what I mean? So
G, what's good, bro?
Yo, what's good. So in that same token, like, even though we may, in my case, I may put down as a Democrat, but boy, the Democrats don't speak for me. You know what I mean?
You know what it is, though, right? You are not a liberal, bro. You think a dude that identifies as whatever belongs in the bathroom with your daughter?
Nah, well, but you see also, I may not be a liberal, but I do understand what the world, has in store. You know what I mean? When I say that, I know what type of groups is out there. You know what I mean? But now, when you go to, into, fabricating, going into what you always say, believing in their beliefs. I don't have to believe in your beliefs. You know what I mean? I was already raised with good morals and understanding what's right and what's wrong and what's black and what's white. You know what I mean? You can't give me a shaded area and tell me, that's pink. You know what I mean? You can't do that.
Right. Now, that being said, do you feel that they're trying to push that do you think, matter of fact, I'm going to go as far as, do you think that the whole Harris thing, their basis for that election was this liberal agenda of anybody could be anything? I can, head in the clouds, fictitious and detrimental to not only themselves, but to society. That wasn't like on the front line. Sending men, they
well,
sending. I'm sorry, brother. Hold on, wait, real quick, because I want
yeah,
to make sure everybody understands what I mean.
yeah.
Like, for example, she ran on a campaign of sending "I identify as a woman" people to prisons with women. And how many people got pregnant? How many inmates got pregnant?
I
I
mean,
mean, it doesn't matter if you know, but you know it happened.
yeah, but that's a small portion if you're looking in that aspect. But now you gotta look at, and this goes to a bigger agenda. Like, who is they? Who is them? You know what I mean? And instead of saying them and they, we have to put names and titles and sometimes point fingers at the right people. You know what I mean? Because I don't think it's a Democrat or Republican thing. I also think Democrats took out guard out of a lot of things as well. You know what I mean? And not saying they're not for guard. But I think they try more agree with their constituents, you know what I mean? Try to get more populated, get more votes for them side instead of saying, standing ground. Because I don't think Democrats have any type of ground that they stand on, you know what I mean? Because they already flip sided. That's what I think.
Now, people, no, I'm not even. I'm gonna sit here because that's the only part of being conservative that I'm not with. Of course, anybody who knows me, no, I don't. I don't have a faith. I don't follow a faith of any accord, and that is a part of being conservative, and that's just the part that I don't fit. But my wife does. So that being said, you are right though. They have taken religion out of because people that are the Christians, Catholics, whatever. Y'all believe in Jesus. You believe in God. But you don't not. Of course, you're not going to take this personal. But nobody follows anything.
No, and that's facts. Like how now this is where state, government, and God and church supposed to have been separated. You know what I mean? And then now, when you do that separation, do you take away from what your beliefs are and instill evil into the world? I'm putting that in quotation marks, air quotation marks. But do you put evil into the world? And I say that because I look at human beings as human beings. You know what I mean? Granted, if you think you're a fucking cow, which you don't, no people think they are a cow, but you got people on the other side of the world that think they dogs. You got people who think they emojis or they whatever they want to be, and that's not true facts. But if you got the money, sometimes you could pay for this, you know what I mean? And then you could present this to the public and the public will see it. And then now you have a chain of people that want to go along with it, you know what I mean? But then again, and the only reason why I say this, because when my times was hard and I was out there in the streets, bro, and I turned to, I was dealing with, as far as a friendship with a person, a person let me sleep inside their house, and that person was a transsexual, you know what I mean? And being that person was a transsexual, me and that person didn't try to interact with each other, you know what I mean? We didn't try to get into a relationship, or you knew your ground, I knew my ground, and you knew that I was in a fucked up situation, and you had a living room that I could stay in for a little while, or you had a room that I could stay warm in for 4 hours out the day, you know what I mean? So you got to know who you are as an individual, and then come across them and deal with them accordingly. Because I'm not going to stand here and say that I didn't call that person by the name that she wanted to be called. You understand? Now I know you're a dude, but even though you look like a female, but I know you're a dude. You know what I mean? But sometimes people bend and break for their own personal reasons. You know what I mean? But you still have to stand ground some way or another, and know where you stand as with on that ground. You know what I mean? Because I would hate to not. Because one thing I would hate to deny, bro, and I've been told you this. You know what I mean? When I was going through my time, in the streets. You know what I mean? My family turned their back on me, my nigga. Like my family didn't let me come and stay inside their crib for 4 hours to get warm. You know what I mean? I was in the subway for half the time that I was out there. You know what I mean? So I would never, throw dirt on somebody that I knew that did right for me, even though they are a set or in a set group. You know what I mean? But if you want me to be delusional about certain things, I can't be delusional about everything now. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to give nobody that power to do that.
And basically to state this the fact that it is. Nobody say these people don't exist. Nobody don't say they deserve respect. They don't deserve this, that, and the third that everybody else is getting. Nobody said that. But you're not going to sit here and have me call you this, that, and the third. I'm not going for it. I don't care what you identify.
There's another thing that that I've been saying on all these shows that this been coming up. Who been saying that they have to be addressed as that person? Like a lot of people that I know or I've seen, like as far as transsexual or something, you wouldn't even know they're transsexual unless you dealing with them in that aspect or you dealing with them in a personal level. You know what I mean? Because they flying by. You know what I mean? Like, and unless they trying to solicit it from you, you know what I mean? Then you wouldn't even know. So I don't think it's them per se throwing the agenda onto them. I just think the agenda is out there for that to be to feminize, to take the masculinity out of men, not the feminized men, but take the masculinity out of men. You know what I mean?
And that was still brought upon by the Democratic Party.
Well, no, we gotta understand.
Yes.
We gotta understand we're in a deep state too. You know what I mean? And they may use certain things. And again, what Trump is doing now with going and backtracking, him and Elon Musk is backtracking and going through all these different policies and different budgets cuts, and then not budget cuts but budgets, and see what's in between the lines. And a lot of shit in between the lines, and it's not because the Democrats put it there, it's because the deep state put it there, and they use whoever at the time is there, whether it be Democrat, Republican, but more likely the Democrat, because the Democrat's easy to bend, easy to buy, probably more so than a Republican. You know what I mean?
All right. I mean, a lot of this shit that's going on. That's why I actually do think it may be some type of conflict. I don't know if it's going to go as far as being a war, but there will be some type of conflict, and it's going to be a North and South thing again. Some around the area of course, it's going to be different reasons. It's going to be a whole political war as far as Republicans versus the Democrats, because the Democrats, they're going to have to sit there and separate themselves, the liberals from the conservatives, because I do believe they are conservative Democrats. You can be. But the whole Democrat system, the whole party is like based on bullshit. If you sit there and do the homework, and this is what most of the time people don't want to do the homework. The Democratic Party is based on lies and deception. They tell you they're for A, B, and C, but they really not. They sit there and tell you the Republicans that it's a racist party and it's only for rich people. No, the Republican Party is really for hardworking people who don't believe that people should slide by. Let's give an example. 3-4 generations of people on welfare. The Republican Party doesn't believe in that. Like, you get what I mean? Like, the Republican Party don't sit there like, yo, how the fuck are you 40? You've been on welfare since you were 18. Why are you still on it? And it comes off as lazy to me. And I'm sure it comes off as lazy to the party. Because you're sitting there, you're living off of the funds off the hard-working backs of the people, and you're not one of them. And you're continuously doing it. It's not like you sat there like, yo, I'm effed up. I got these kids. I'm going to do this right now, and then I'm going to join every program that there is for me to get a job so I can support these kids, blah, blah, blah. That's not really happening. You have generation upon generation upon generation of people getting them stamps and that money and relying on either child support or try to fake like, and you know this the fact, try to fake like they sick in some type of way to get SSI.
Bro, I'm not denying the setup, because the setup is there. And if you look at it, the last, what's this going to be, 60, 70 years, the last 70 years is the only time that we're going to have, it's the first record keeping of it, you know what I mean? So, I mean, if you look at it that aspect, we do manipulate the system. But again, that's how we was brought up as far as our thought process.
Generation, bro. You walking into it.
But listen how the Me Too movement as well. You know what I mean? Like, females were brought up to cater to guys. You know what I mean? Go find yourself a rich guy that could support you. Yada yada yada. Mothers was instilling that inside their daughters' heads growing up in the 60s, 50s, such and such. You know what I mean? So it's just how you was brought up and what was in front of you and what the educational and the knowledge that you get in front of you. And again, from talking about my last night's show on my channel, a lot of stuff wasn't bought in front of us. Real estate wasn't bought in front of us to know real estate. You know what I mean? And when someone bought it in front of you, you probably thought you had to pay a lot of money to go to real estate school. You know what I mean? Or somebody was trying to scam you for to pay some money to go to real estate school. So it's like certain things wasn't that we don't have knowledge of, but that don't stop us for being ignorant to the fact once you get older and you able to obtain the knowledge yourself. You know what I mean? It's not now if you get stuck, you stay stuck in that same rotation. Then that's you. You know what I mean? That's because you want to be there. But again, sometimes you don't know how to get out that rut, how to get out that first bump in the road to get past. To get to go down the road. You know what I mean? Because I'm in the same boat. I'm not a dumb nigga. You know what I mean? But I do stupid things. You know what I mean? I know that I stunt my own growth a lot of times. You know what I mean? And whether I do that consciously or unconsciously, I know that I do that. And for me to know to have that fact, now I question myself, am I dumb for keep on doing it? Which I think I am, or am I just in a mode where I just can't get over it? Like I need a push, you know what I mean? And sometimes I need a push.
Good morning, Grace.
And good morning, Grace. I think sometimes we all need a push, you know what I mean? One way or another, but sometimes you can get pushed the wrong way, even though a person is trying to push you, to get you over that hump. You know what I mean?
All right. Now here's where I come in with this. All right, every now and then you do need a push. Everybody might need a push. I ain't gonna sit here and act like everybody is me and blah blah blah. But this is where I after a while it's like, how many times I'm gonna push this dude?
That's fact.
How many boosts am I gonna give him? How many chances? How many times? It's like, for me, like, all right, like I said on another previous show, when I was hustling, I didn't think of this way. I didn't think of these things because I didn't give a shit. I'm not even a taxpayer. You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But when I became a taxpayer, now I'm looking at everything. And to be honest with you, I didn't believe in, men and people being on welfare forever when I was younger.
Yeah,
it's like, you're a loser.
Yeah. I don't think we none of us, looked at that process like that. You know what I mean? Until we got into the teens and maybe late 20s and start seeing, certain females, having babies after babies. You know what I mean? I'm gonna let you finish your story though. But I mean, I just think that we just didn't have that thought process at that time. You know what I mean?
No, of course you don't, and you're younger because you're taught Democratic is for the poor, Republican is for the rich. Now, I think the Democratic Party is for keeping the poor. And this is what I'm telling. I'm going to explain myself. Why the fuck would you allow someone to be on assistance for that long without attempting to get a job? All they got to do is sit there and make it look good. And like, come on. You heard of the one-shot deals, right? And of course it's in New York, if you heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, try that shit in Georgia, bro. One shot in your ass.
But I think it comes down to the state that you're into. Like.
Yeah, I'm in a red state.
Yeah, so the red state, like the benefits that oblige to the blue states. I think the red states, is a little bit more independent and has a little bit more. But you also have like 20 black people living in one house, where in the blue state you don't have that. You know what I mean? You have like maybe 3. You know what I mean? And they will all be, siblings amongst each other. Where down south you have the aunt, you know what I mean, the sister or the brother living with you. You know what I mean? Like it, because they got no other choice but to help each other out there in a sense. You know what I mean? So it do
that happens with people that ain't educated, at least up to high school.
And then to go back to to what you were saying about how we are taught one way or another by looking at Republican or Democrat. I mean, I don't think I was taught that. You know what I mean? Even though I've seen my mom's vote on the Democratic lines, I did see people that look like me, become figures inside certain state run offices, such as mayor or not even governor of a state. I mean mayor. You know what I mean? I'm talking about David Dinkins. But I also seen that during times of trouble for black people that who was in charge, such as the mayor or the governor, was Republican, and they was more so not speaking up against the wrong that was being done against black people at the time, or the whatever the situation was could have been at the time. You know what I mean? So I just think my growing up being more so for a Democrat was, you know, me seeing, you know, people like me being a Democrat. I hardly seen any black Republicans. You know what I mean? Or you know, that was inside of a Senate or Congress at the time, or that I knew of before I knew, this dude was back in the days. What's his name?
What are you
George,
talking about?
George Washington, the first black Republican.
Are you talking about that's Lincoln. That's Lincoln Day. Frederick Douglass.
Frederick Douglass, yes. Lincoln days, yes. My bad.
Oh,
So,
that's good.
I mean, like when you go back and look at history and read the history or understanding the history that you learn while in school, you're like, oh shit, yeah, Frederick Douglass was standing right there. You know what I mean? He was right there. So
Yeah.
so it's like we be brainwashed by the deep state, you know, and we just have to, you know, overcome that and train ourselves and educate ourselves a better way. And if you know, do it for yourself, do it for your kids, because your kids gonna be trapped up in the same shit.
And that is a fact. Let me ask you something. It should feel it feels different. Like I'm really getting into this political shit, and it's actually fun. Do you actually find Donald Trump to be a racist?
No, you know what? I don't find him to be a racist, but I never thought he was a racist. I just seen him as sparking and igniting the racist masses. You know what I mean? And then again, not speaking up against certain things that, you know, that in my eyes was pure as day as wrong. You know what I mean? So I don't think he's racist, but because I grew up with Trump in New York when I was young, he wasn't racist. You know what I mean? He was around black people. Rappers was talking about it, right? Mr. T and all of that. I mean, he was down with wrestling and all of that. So
Mike
no,
Tyson.
I
He
don't think
advocated for Mike Tyson real hard too.
so. I don't think he's racist. I just think that he riled up the masses of the racist people, and I just think that he riles up patriots. You know what I mean? And us as Black Americans, we have a different outlook on history, a different outlook on how we feel as being American. You know what I mean? And I just think that I know I'm a pure American. Fuck where I came from, I mean, and not fuck where I came from, but respectfully. You know what I mean? I'm here. You can't change that. You know what I mean? And I stand for every right that a citizen, a white citizen, is supposed to have. I'm supposed to have the same thing too. So I'm a patriot too. You know what I mean? I may not be as patriotic as waving that white, red and white flag and blue flag out there, but I damn sure, you know, feel the emotion of God bless America. You know what I mean? Or the Pledge of Allegiance. You know what I mean? I feel that within my bones and vibes. I'm American to the day that I die.
Yes, you are, brother. Now I'm about to play some videos now. Now I'm about to play one from a podcast hostess named Pearly Things. And it's from a woman. So it's not me. Because some things I actually feel, I sometimes don't say them, which I'm gonna start saying them because it's real in the field. But here's Pearly Things.
And listen to this.
Wait.
Only 2% of births. Well, okay. All the problems in the U.S. are from single mothers and simps. Okay. But on the scale of single mothers by choice are the absolute worst. Single mothers by choice are absolute scumbags. You want to know why? It's because you're putting your child at every statistical disadvantage, and these women are going solo. If you get IVF or insemination, that child will never know their father, ever. Ever. And listen to this. Only 2% of births come from insemination,
and only 2% of births come from IVF. The fastest growing group of single mothers are ages 33 to 37. Is what happens between that age. They smash into the wall, right? Yeah. So if only 2% of births come from IVF and 2% come from insemination, that's only a small amount. So most of the single mothers, how are they going to get their child, Pearl? How?
One night stands, hookups,
they're going to find
a simp.
Yep, Chad Chaddington. Gavin, the starving musician,
Chad Chaddington,
and then they all have that way out where they can say, he didn't step up to the plate. He's a deadbeat, but he's a deadbeat when you met him, and society is going to give him a pass, saying, "Oh, you got pregnant by a deadbeat. He's terrible," and then she's going to tell that child his whole life that his or her dad was a deadbeat, which he never should have had a kid with them in the first place.
How many women do you think wanted them?
I mean, I think that's a small part, a real small part. I don't think that that's the, but it does pave the way for weaker men. And that's what I think we have, weak ass men. And why are they weak? Because the mothers are different now. They lean into the shit that they hear, the bullshit. And what are they teaching their sons? Bullshit. Their sons are leaning into bullshit.
Yeah, shit crazy.
No, I mean, yeah, it is crazy. But it's real shit, because I hate to keep putting that there, but you got to think about it. Who makes soldiers? A man and a woman make soldiers. They make men. But if you don't have the man's input, then what are you making? You're making a man that's feminine.
Yep. Until he get to the stage of going out there, finding himself, and and trying to become a man himself. I mean,
yeah, but how many mistakes are made when a kid that don't know better go out and try to find it on his own? How many people are lucky and find, the right shit?
Mm-hmm. A lot of shit that they don't have to go through as the mother, let the father involved. Let the father know that they pregnant. Don't deny the father access to their child because y'all not together no more. There's a lot of things that these ladies do that prevent the father from being there. Or in some cases, for you to get that support and get that housing, your father can't be there. So, you know what I mean? You remove the father out the house.
Right. That was, and hold up. I'm gonna look this up before I make this declaration. I have to real quick. Oh wow, the computer already knew what I was asking, bro. And it was done by Democrats, Lyndon B. Johnson, the man who introduced welfare and said, "Hey, you guys don't need no men in the home. We got this for you, we got that for you, we got that for you." And he has crippled the minority, I'm gonna say the minority, since 1964. In terms of keeping the black man out the home. Like I said before, Lyndon B. Johnson is the most racist guy, sat there and said, "Hey, if we give them stuff and we spoon feed them, they're going to accept that." And what has been happening? How many generations of people on welfare are there? But I'm not supposed to say nothing because I'm black. I'm not supposed to say anything. If you want the betterment of the black race, then you got to get up off your ass. You can't call for the betterment of the black race if you're going to sit there and be everything that people are talking about. You done sat there for 40 years old. You've been on welfare since you was 18 or out the house. Whichever came first, whichever one. And I'm supposed to sit there and be happy about it? Like, yeah, you get yours. You're not getting yours. I'm sitting here killing myself for you. And since I've been working, which is like consistently for like the last 12, 13 years, hell no, I ain't trying to let you eat off of me. Hell no, I don't. Get up off your ass. It's like I said last week. Yeah, I believe people do need assistance. Yes, you do. But how long am I? How long is the? Are we supposed to assist you?
No, that's facts though. That's facts though. I mean,
Yeah, like how
facts.
long?
And it's crazy though because again, if you're a male trying to go for assistance, it's very hard to get assistance if you really need it. You know what I mean? Female
It's
can get
almost impossible.
a female could get it without a problem. You have a baby, not a problem. You have two babies, even more money. You have three babies, so it's enticing for them to stay on it. It's more benefit for them to stay on it than they see by going out in the real world and getting a job, man, getting a 401k plan. I mean, so but that's the way the program was set up. But again, we, and I say we, black community,
Yeah.
we stay in that struggle, we stay in that mindset. Then they throw on Maury on TV, then they throw Jerry Springer on there. Now you want to get stuck on there watching other people's soap operas, and
Looking
then
stupid.
yeah, and then we looking stupid with the same history that we going through with our people. You know what I mean?
Bro, peep this. Everything what you said is real. Peep this. Like since I did this Republican thing, I chose my party, and I just want people to know I was once independent, and then I once tried to start my own party. It was called the MEGA Party, but the MEGA Party, the whole shit aligned with with Republican values. So I mean, and then I tried to independent because I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I thought it was something that it wasn't. The Independent Party just hates on Republicans and people that are rich. Now, let me know if this is right. If I sat here, worked hard, and made myself a millionaire, multi-millionaire, whatever the fuck it is with my business, and there are shit set up for me, I deserve it. I made it there. Why don't you get up off your ass and do some overtime and do this, do that, and the third? And now, okay, now I'm gonna go a step further. I'm the man. I sat there. I done accumulated $100 and something billion. I'm this guy. Now I have kids coming up. I died. I passed my wealth on to them. I mean, isn't that the whole point of it anyway? Like, how are you mad at this trust fund kid? His parents set it up for him so he wouldn't have to. Even though I don't sometimes agree with don't let them see what struggle is. I think you should let these kids know hard work. But if you sat there and he didn't, oh well, this is what you did with your money. This is your money.
But
You
again,
gave it to the kids.
put the same people in that position of getting money, being the one that go out there and work hard. They wouldn't want to sacrifice. They would see they would see that the shoe don't fit on the same foot. You know what I mean? So I think opportunity plays a part in a sense, but it's laziness. It's being content. It's being comfortable. It's being I'm going to it's knowing that you're going to have that money every 1st and 11th. You know what I mean? Every 1st and 15th. You know what I mean? So I just think that people is comfortable with that, and
Exactly.
I could fuck up here on the 1st, or I can get my sneakers on the 1st. And I'm talking about females. I get my sneakers on the 1st, and by the 15th come, I get the food stamps, and I have the food, filled up. And they thought they were doing something, you know what I mean? In which they really wasn't, you know what I mean? You wasn't really doing nothing. You're not stunting, you know what I mean? You got the government supporting you. So
And I'm gonna throw him a bone because it's real. It's a stat. You can look it up. Y'all sat there and y'all became the highest percentage of college graduates, people to attend college or whatever. And just to put it out there, you talking to two people that attended college and did their thing in college is talking right now. We don't that dumb shit y'all about to say or think. And you did nothing really with the shit. You still became single mothers. You're still relying on child support. You're still angry. You're still bitter. But everything that you wanted as feminists was given to you. That's why that whole movement is stupid and it's bullshit. Because if you sit there and ask a woman, what can you do? What can men do now that you can't? Then they're gonna come up with some stupid shit like the wage gap, 80 cents to $1. Bitch, pick a difficult job. Pick a difficult job. Y'all pick jobs where you're either cleaning or you're behind a desk, putting shit into a computer. Then you got your little fake masculine ones. They become police officers and COs in prisons. And guess what? They become pregnant by the people they're supposed to be surveying. Let's stop playing with Uncle Jackie B. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. That's why the man Myron off of, damn, I forgot his shit. Damn, what's the name of his show? Shit, Myron, and I'm starting to lean toward that way too. Don't even think women deserve to vote. You don't. You don't deserve to vote. Like,
Wow.
because you're gonna vote. I'm gonna tell you why. Because you're gonna vote with emotion. You're gonna vote for bullshit and stupid shit instead of shit that firmly that makes the country better. You're trying to make the people. You're trying to appeal to feelings. That's why I did not want no fucking women running this country. If the women can't run a fucking house, this is Tony Jack, Uncle Jackie, I don't care who likes it. Women cannot run a fucking household. How the fuck she gonna run the country? How? How? 70% of the kids that y'all fucking raised by yourself turn out to be shit. So how is this woman going? And the first thing she ran off of trans movement. She tried to run off a movement, but the movement wasn't big enough. And fortunately, it was a few women out there who was like, "What the?" There's like, I'm not going for that. Thankfully, because women are the majority in the country.
But
It's small women than men.
But that's why you gotta put in perspective. Like it ain't about a lady running it or not running it. It's about what type of lady running it. You know what I mean, because if the lady is efficient and they would hold down her household, able to work a 40-hour shift, able to come back and cook food. But now, do we ask ourselves, a lady supposed to do all of that? I could do. A man helps out in some aspect of sharing some household duties.
Listen, bro.
So, cause I got a daughter, bro, and I don't want my daughter to think that she gotta get shortchanged, but I also don't want her to expect her to go be a construction worker and think that that you're not going to go do construction work and things and have to do it and be able to hold yourself down. You know what I mean? And I say that because I work with a whole bunch of ladies. We get paid the same amount. Some of them may get paid more than me because they've been there longer than me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they still expect the man help for picking up 40-pound bag. And I've been doing this. And if I'm picking up a 40-pound bag just like you, well, I think that you should be able to. You know what I mean? Why? I mean, sometimes I won't mind offer my sharing, me being the man and helping you out. But that shouldn't be expected all the time. We get paid. I'm just as tired as you are sometimes. You know what I mean? And your tire may not be the same as my tire, but my tire don't have, and your tire hold significant weight. You know what I mean? So I feel in that aspect, in wages or something like that, there should be a line on that wave. But to say a woman can't run shit and can't hold it down, it all depends upon that woman. Because I would love for my daughter to hold something down and be able to run shit, without having to go second guess and go question a man about something. I mean,
all right. Now, part of me does agree with that to a certain extent. Yeah, you can be the boss at the job or whatever. We talking about running the country now, my G. Talking about running the country. Number one, that broad don't even have no kids. She don't have no kids. And number two, that broad is she's a pass around, bro. She been passed around, my G. Like, I wish I'd have had the time. I did have the time, but I don't want to get flagged for nothing, so I just use voices. Mm-hmm. But you see her, and I mean, bro, you know what it looked like. I ain't gonna sit there acting like you green. You know what it looked like. It was someone running for office, and boy, she looked more than like a constituent / it looked like there was history there. I'm gonna put it that way. Now I could be wrong. That's why I said it looked like it was alleged history. It wasn't no alleged. That's just me looking. I'm observing. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna use the term alleged anyway. But it looked like there was some chemistry there. Like yeah, I'm more than happy that you won. I feel like we won. and she's and that's her reputation though, to be a person that's been passed around. So no, I don't. That means her integrity is shot. It's shot. If you're being passed around, your integrity is shot. I do
Yeah,
not want you running this country. I'm not
I'm
going to sit here and lie to you, bro. I'm not a believer in the Bible. But when the whole country are believers in the Bible, a woman ain't supposed to lead shit ever. Ever. Now we talking biblical. We're not talking about what's going on. We talking biblical. Where
yeah,
in the Bible did a woman lead shit? And when they did, what happened?
yeah. That is true. That is true. So that's why I stay quiet on certain things that you say, bro. Because what you say is not far off from actual facts. You know what I mean? And I mean, I know, controversial sells. I know us bumping heads sells as well. You know what I mean? And even though we talk off the show too, you know what I mean? If we have any differences or whatever the case may be, and that's very far in between. You know what I mean? So,
Mm,
so I just say that
facts.
that that I do concur with what some of the stuff you're saying, but again, I just think it depends on where that lady came from, what's that lady history, you know what I mean? And again, probably a real woman wouldn't want to run this country because they know that at the end of the day, like there's certain decisions that they wouldn't be able to make because they will react off of feelings, off of emotions. You know what I mean? So that's why you probably haven't seen too many candidates go and make something happen.
I think people are doing things just cause now because the world has the country has become heavily liberal. Like the country is no longer putting women in their place. Men have a place, women have a place. I mean, whoever's listening, I don't care how you feel about how that sounds. Men have a place, women have a place. Now, if you got 99% of the damn soldiers going to war are men, why do I care what that 1% has to say? Why do I even want you here? Because all it is, if you're not even going to go fight. You're going to go train. You're going to do this. You're not going to be in armed combat. It's very, 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 very rare where a woman is in armed combat. They don't get silver stars and their stars and shit. I don't know how many women they have with Purple Hearts, but ain't no G.I. Jane is fake.
No, G.I.
It's fake.
Jane. I think G.I. Jane is real.
All right, as far as the training, yes.
No, well, no, that was just her trying to get into the Navy SEALs or whatever the case may be, that special unit, because there was hardly no females inside that unit. I don't know how true that is. I'm not gonna go and say it.
No, we're just talking about the movie. We're not even going for the truth. We're going for the movie. I don't even care if it's based on real life, because they're not giving you the whole real life. And Demi Moore, whoever the character she played, went through hell, because I did enjoy that movie. It was dope, and I cheered for her. But in actuality, she ain't going out with a 12-man team to take over a country, bro. Let's be for real.
Yeah, that's facts. Like I said, that was probably just hurt that person just trying to go through that Navy SEAL shit.
Yeah, just to say I'm a woman and I can do what men can do. And it's rare, bro. And it takes more than physical for men to do the shit. It's a mental thing.
Yeah.
It's way more than physical.
Mm-hmm.
And go ahead, brother.
And that's why I think I say what I said a little while ago, that I think that's why there haven't been too many candidates, because there haven't been a female, in her right state of mind, and or saying to her, being real with herself, checking herself in the mirror, saying, yo, you know what, I could check all the dots that's needed that I need to be for me to be the president to run this country. You know what I mean? To make the certain decisions. You know what I mean?
And here's the weird part, bro. I have never in my life said a woman belongs in the kitchen. I'm married. My woman does not even go in the kitchen unless it's to make a snack. You know what I'm saying? I do all the cooking and shit. Yeah, she does the cleaning. The shit is split. I never said a woman belongs in the kitchen. I would never say that, because it's not true.
Because you're in Atlanta, that's why.
No, I ain't no Atlanta shit. The fact that I'm in Atlanta, but the fact that I'm in Atlanta means that she should be cooking, because this is the hub.
No, you're right about the female part and the soul part, but I'm talking about that's why you cooking.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna sit here and lie. I don't even care if she listening. I cook because I want to be able to eat the food. So that's why I cook. Some people are built for cooking. Some people are built for cleaning. Some people are built for both. We've split the line down the middle. That meal I made last night, I don't know if she'd be able to make it without help from a man. So, and it's cool. That's fine with me because I know how to clean, but I hate to do it. She loves it to a detriment.
Hold on, I'm gonna share.
Oh yeah, she loves it to a detriment. She put that shit before anything. But off of that, like I was telling people last week, bro, I was raised by a woman born in 1933 who was a Catholic. I'm going to grow up a certain way. And she was from down south. Way down south. As far south as you can go. She's in Florida. So it's like the way I came up, I have certain, like, I forgot what I tried to do, but she sat there and was like, My mother's the reason why I actually think this way. She the one who taught me these Banny, what's good, bro? Appreciate you coming through, Banny. Word. But nah, my mother taught me these ways. And I used to be, I'm gonna sit here and not lie to you. I think my mother was a Republican. She didn't speak much on politics, but her politics aligned with conservative Republicans. You get what I mean? That's why when I actually got into this shit, I seen my thoughts and my upbringing did not align with the democratic process. It doesn't. Because for me, I'm gonna use welfare again. Welfare is for old people who had shitty jobs their whole lives. They worked hard their whole lives. They just had shitty jobs. And now they're old. It's hard to pay bills. Yes, you deserve to get them stamps. Here, you help run the country with us. Here's some free food or assistance with food on us. You deserve it. It's for a woman who sat there, I ain't gonna say fucked up, not even fucked up. Let's just pretend a woman who sat there, was married, has 5 kids, didn't get let's say she got gypped out of whatever, the divorce. Let's just say she needs assistance. She has 5 kids, but that does not mean she's supposed to sit there and do, well, 1 kid gives me $200, 2 kids give me $350, 4 kids give me $600, 5. No, we're not supposed to do it like that. You get what I mean? We're supposed to try to become citizens of a higher plane, become a part of what the fuck America is. It's hard work and dedication. That's what America's supposed to be.
Yeah, but look at the reality of the fact that I could sit on my ass for 40 hours out the week or 100 and something hours out the week and collect $300 every 2 weeks because I got 2 kids inside my house. And not saying I'm raising them good either. You know what I mean? It's just the comfortability of it, bro. Like, I mean,
no, I know. We know it's the comfortability. I'm basically, it's half-assed. I'm trying to recruit more people of color to the Republican Party because, like you said in the beginning, in the beginning, when you had the Lincoln times, when the slaves were being freed, black people, black men and women were fucking Republicans. Republicans. You know why? Because they just sat there for the fucking previous 300 some years working hard. Well, let me not say 300 something, but the last 100 years being beaten and working hard. So, of course, when you get freed, you see how you see what you did to make massa. So now why can't you do that for yourself? You're supposed to get I'm not even going to get into it. You're supposed to get the 40 acres and a mule, whatever. It didn't happen. But what were you going to do on that 40 acres with your mule? What were you going to do? You weren't going to sit there and hope the crops planted themselves, right?
Nah, but back then. But then,
I mean, you can still call things crops, bro. Crops. As far as your bank account is a crop, you can't expect that shit to grow if you ain't working, are you?
Nah, I can't speak. I can't tell you when the time came,
bro. You're not a liberal, and it like, you know what it is, bro. It sounds like, because I know you like the back of my own hand, my nigga. I know you. You are not a liberal, but you sit here defending them, bro, on the low. It might not seem like it. Rewatch it. You defended liberals, bro. In your own way, you were trying to defend them. And you're not doing it.
Because no, because right and wrong, right is right, wrong is wrong. And no matter how much I would try to defend them, I would still feel in my heart like, your nigga, that's still wrong. You know what I mean? Like, and I understand it, but I would have to speak up because my thought process was on that wave at one point in time that assistance is needed. But when you take advantage of the shit, you taking advantage of it. They should have
And
been.
that's what I think is happening. That's what I feel, bro.
They should have been a cap on it, but now, you know, you were saying about how you want to turn a lot of you know, blacks into a Republican.
People of color, not just black people. People of color.
I just think that a lot of people voted Republican along this
They
time.
did.
Because
They did, bro.
They wanted
That's
something
how we win.
than Biden and Harris. You know what I mean? Biden was just a fucking dead weight. You know what I mean? And no matter how anybody could speak up for him, I don't see how, because he did nothing but everything just went up on his watch. You know what I mean? And he acted like he couldn't do anything. And as we see, if somebody with some balls and Trump is not with the Republican Party too, he's with bringing his people along. You understand? So it's not about parties again. It's about along the lines on who's going to go inside that office and change things how things should be changed and not looked at it wrong. Now, I'm mad at Obama now because if Trump went in there and did all of this, you know, the first time, and then he got kicked out and then went in there the second time, he knew the second time what he was going to do. You know what I mean? So what he did, he got nothing but yes man around him, because everybody's a yes man around him. Now, I'm not going to say they don't stand up on independently, but they are yes men to Donald Trump. You know what I mean?
Well, hold on. I don't even care. I actually don't care. But hold on, and this is not being disrespectful. What leads you to say that, brother?
What, that he got yes men around him?
That people will just agree with whatever he says. I mean, like, because I mean, I did a little bit more homework, because this shit, like I told you, bro, like I've become fanatical with it now. Like I sit here, bro. I listen to Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens for hours and hours a day, bro. At least 2-3 hours a day, and I'm not exaggerating. So I have to ask, that's why I asked you, what do you think Donald Trump is racist in the beginning?
No, that's why I don't think he's racist. But if you got people surrounding with yes men, every move that you make is going to seem like a good move. Every move that you make is not going to be questioned. You know what I mean? And here's some examples of of why I say that, because he put people in place that have no experience of what the fuck they may be doing or what they may have to do. You know what I mean? As one inquiry that just came out recently that we did on Yellow Tape was about the leaks of a reporter getting involved within a government mission. You know what I mean? A military mission, and
Right.
that never transpired before. Not saying that, you know, that was done intentionally or unintentionally. I'm just saying that, you know, putting certain people in place that's not, you know, experienced or seasoned as yet, you're gonna get little mistakes like that. You know what I mean? Such as you know, putting, you know, a lady that's a conspiracy theorist inside place in certain position inside office, and she's saying whack ass things, and you got to go behind her and a second, you know, double talk behind her type of thing. So it just not putting people with experience in certain places, and people that just gonna be like, you know what, Trump, here you go, here's the key to the city. You know what I mean?
Right. I do get that. I don't think he has I don't think his whole team is a team of yes men. Because I mean, I think he's better at politics now, but I think Donald Trump still needs a consigliere, if you know the mobster world, or a lieutenant. He needs somebody to tell him, you know. And I think that his Vance is JD Vance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard him talk too. He is very, very intelligent. He's a very highly intelligent man, and I think that a lot of the stuff, because when Trump comes out of office, I think Vance is gonna, and I think I'm gonna go with Vance. I think Vance is gonna continue the legacy, if you want to call it that, which is what I would call it. He's going to keep the legacy and maybe add a few things that he prefers, some policies. But JD Vance is very, very intelligent, and I actually like to hear him speak. And I hope that my brain doesn't just. I don't want to be. I want to still continue to be well rounded. That's why I didn't ask you these questions. I don't ask you these questions to put you on the spot. You might have some insight I don't.
Mm-hmm. No,
Now,
well,
you're a Democrat. Hang on, one more thing. You are a Democrat. I don't care about you being a Democrat. I care about the liberal shit, like my nigga, like because like you said it yourself. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican, as long as you know right is right and wrong is wrong, true is true and false is false. It's nothing but respect for you. Because I don't really care what party you choose. You can be the Green Party. I don't care. As long as you acknowledge right is right and wrong is wrong, that's what it is for me, brother. And that's what it's always going to be until I perish.
but that's what it is, because I'm a human being, and I'm not gonna go with false hope now. You know what I mean? And if you gonna call a kettle black and you gonna say that shit pink, and then me and you got we got a problem. You know what I mean? Because it's not pink, it's black, bro. You know what I mean? So I'm not with flirtatious shit, but again, we may do that, to benefit ourselves in a short run, but to stick on it as a solid point, no, bro. Like right is right, wrong is wrong, bro. Mm-hmm. Man, you can't change that fact. What's up, Miss Brinson? How you doing? Thanks for joining us. Miss you. You know what I mean? I think Jack lost the audio, but yeah, bro. Like there's no fine tuning, nothing else. And I mean, when you look at shit, you gotta call it for what it is, and that's what a lot of people don't do. A lot of people, like with that, America being obese.
Yeah, my fault. Yeah, go ahead. America being obese, you just hit a point that I love.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Being obese, like if you're obese and that's not a healthy thing. No matter how you square that off, like you're not doing something that's positive for yourself in the long run. No matter if your body can handle it or not, it's still not healthy. It's still not productive for America.
And that's another thing, and it all stems from the feminism thing, bro. I mean, just hear me out real quick, bro. You sitting there, you're a single mother. I mean, hold up, my fault. We talking about obesity, my bad. I've been hitting Jack Daniels. But you got to think about it. When we're not gonna use your case because Sha was an awesome mother. But let's just say, like I'm gonna use an example. You got one dude, you got a family, right? And you got the father, he's there. Whatever that child do, the father's gonna participate. They're gonna play, they're gonna do this. Now, we're gonna talk about, and I'm gonna give them an excuse. It's still not good, but it's an excuse. And it's I guess it's feasible. It's still not good to me. When the father comes home from work, I used to come home from work. I used to play with my child no matter how tired I was. We watched Family Guy, even though he probably wasn't supposed to, but all she saw was a baby, which was Stewie, and we watched Family Guy until she fall asleep. You have mothers now, they're, like I said, they're not built for shit that we're built for. They go do the same thing. When they come home, what do? Give the child a device. Go play with your device. Mommy's tired. Is that wrong? No, it's not wrong. But every day that kid's getting that device, you get what I mean? Like, you get what I'm leaning toward? Like, it's very, that's why they say, like, I used to be sitting there, I'm on the floor playing these games. I was on the streets most of the day, but I'm still tired when I come in. I was on the streets for like 14 hours. I'm tired. 16 sometimes. I'm tired. But we ain't too tired to play with that baby. Now, mother, this is where it comes in, where we say that a man will sacrifice his happiness for his family, but a mother will sacrifice her family for her own happiness. You know why? Because the women are the majority, and if you got a fucking 10 million women behind you, like, yeah, girl, fuck that. Think about yourself. You need something for. That's the dumbest shit. But you got the dude sitting there trying to, he's doing everything. Just think. So you don't have to think about yourself. That's the one great thing I admire about this man. This man don't have to think his children, the mothers of his children, they respect that man. That man don't, except for one bitch, but we ain't gonna let the one bitch fuck up a party. You dig? We're gonna throw her out, send her to the bathroom, go throw her, put your head over the toilet, bitch. But you are fortunate you don't have to go through things that a lot of niggas go through, myself included. But then it's also, I'm gonna give myself some credit. There's also a lot of niggas who won't just cut off the cancer, who will just cut out the cancer and just say, hell, well, I just have to live my life the way I live it. You get it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not a lot. And I think I said this last week, bro. I've said this on plenty of podcasts, bro. The more and more time I'm alive, the more I get why people born in the 30s, my mother included, the 40s, 50s, 60s, not 60s, fuck the 60s. Yeah, I'll say this. The 50s is where I stopped with my total respect. The early 50s. It's like, man, no, they think we weak because we are, bro. Compared to them, my G, they made the world better for us, bro. They made the world better for us. And then us, and this is the last. We're the last of the generation. What would you? Generation X, bro? Shit, you might be a generation ahead of me by 1 year off or whatever the fuck. But whatever, Generation X, our generation is the last and the smartest of all generations, bro. Because we were analog and digital. The last big war was the Vietnam War for the OGs. And they got done dirty for that. Our last war for us, I guess, Iraq, Afghanistan. After that, bro, it ain't the quality of man has went down, bro. I'm not an Army veteran. I'm not a grizzled Army veteran, nah. But I'm a street veteran, and I could tell in the streets that the quality of man was low because the people in the streets, they got hardworking mothers at home, but they trying to hustle just cause. So now you got the people now. You got a grizzled veteran who fought in Vietnam, and you got this chump ass motherfucker who ain't never did shit. Like compare 21-year-olds, bro. 21-year-old from Vietnam War is what, 1964 to 1968 or 65 to 69, something like that. Just think about you 21 and it's 1970, bro. And you got to take lip from some punk motherfucker with thick glasses on that was he went to school because you fought for it. And he's trying to talk down to you. And that's how I look at things. That's why I love my elders, man. And I don't mean motherfuckers born in the 60s and 70s. I don't even respect y'all. Well, the 70s. And I don't mean the men. I mean like as a whole. Because the 70s is when the 60s is when the free kick the man out the house shit came. Just so I can make everybody know this is what I mean. The 60s is when the kick the man out the house came. F the nuclear family, especially if you're black. And it is weird that these things, that's why I don't care what people feel about me, because you never sat there and asked me how I feel or why I feel what I feel so that you can understand. And you can be like, oh, you got a point there, my G. I never thought of that. My brain didn't even work that way. Because there's times where I sat there like I'm asking you, bro, what makes you think this, that, and the third? Because maybe you might sit there and come from an angle that I've never heard. And it's like, nah, say what you feel. It's not like I'm going to sit here and shit. All I'm going to do is ask you more questions to see if this is what you really feel or if you just heard somebody say it. And I don't think I'm wrong for that. Like, you get what I mean? There's a lot of people Now they go off social media. They go off of what people are saying on social media. And if enough dickheads say it on their timeline, then they think it's a fact. And it's like, oh hell no, like it don't work like that. Now I'm gonna look up some works, some speeches from my boy Charlie Kirk. Now Charlie Kirk is a gentleman like myself. Only thing he actually, you know, he made it as far as monetarily. Charlie Kirk is a college dropout. And he's a conservative Republican, and the things he says, they just align with my beliefs. Like he doesn't believe in DEI. He believes in the best man for the job. Now, even though DEI includes black people and people of, you know, people of color, that's trying to be inclusive. I don't give a shit if you're purple. If you can't fly a plane, I don't want you to fly my fucking plane, man. I don't. So you mean to tell me because 80% of the shit is white, you want to include 80% of the workforce is white, but knowledgeable. You have to cut that down to 50% and be inclusive by hiring people who are maybe not even as adept as the people that you're letting go because of DEI. And that works for black people too. You got a big ass population of black people as your employees, and you have to let them, and they're great at their job. They're great. And you mean you have to let go of 25% of them because you have too many of this one race or too many people of color? And I have to go with people that are different, but don't necessarily mean they know what the fuck they're doing. It don't mean that they know what they're doing. And that's bullshit. I mean, it is what it is. Like, we're consumers. So you buying up shit and you expect things to be a certain way. But because they have to add the person that identifies as a horse that don't know what they're doing, but they just want a job and they should have one just because. And then you got the other people. Oh, I'm black, I'm white, I'm this, I'm that, I'm whatever race you want to plug in. I'm supposed to give them a job and they're inept. Like, is that really how it goes? So no, I'm not for DEI either. I'm not, because it's stupid. I'm supposed to just plug in people because they help make the balance, the racial balance better. No, they're not the best for the job. You said something, bro?
Rough. No.
But yeah, I basically want the best person for the job. I don't really give a shit about what color you are. I don't care. Like, I'm definitely afraid of planes. You think I give a shit if the pilot is white or whatever race he is? No, I just want him to be more than competent. I want him to be able to take off and land without deleting us. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that at all. There's nothing wrong with that. There's just like, so I'm supposed to put my life in the hands of someone because they, I'm different and I want to be respected as different. No, that's dumb. Let me look for my boy Charlie. Wait, hold up. My boy Damon Imani. He is funny. He's the gentleman, if you don't know, he's a gentleman who makes videos about him being on The View, but he's actually not. But it's hilarious. And he basically, The View is a bunch of fucking liberal Democrats. It's all women. And mostly women are liberal. Like, yeah, if he wants to identify, yeah. But here's Damon Imani.
This whole, all of this, the money cutting, all this stuff. I'm sorry. The United States government made a deal with Elon Musk for those cars of his. And what was the price? $400 million. $400 million. Cut that out.
Well, okay, the deal that you're talking about was made by Joe Biden with Tesla. And Trump just canceled it, by the way. So if there's any questions of conflict of interest, there you have your answer. But in general, the US government pays numerous companies like Boeing, Lockheed, Tesla, and many others, but to innovate, create jobs, and grow the economy, and to cut emission. Okay, we will get back to that. But Doge, on the other hand, is just cutting wasteful spending and exposing government corruption. Big difference there, whoop whoop. And I gotta say, it's quite telling that everyone on this panel constantly advocate for climate action, and you cheer for government use of your tax dollars to cut emissions, yet you oppose Tesla, the world's leader in reducing vehicle emission, receiving these funds. Meaning, you're willing to let the planet get destroyed because you don't like the guy who's trying to save it. Or you don't actually believe in climate change. So, which one is it?
Which one is it? Y'all quiet. Say something, Whoopi. Okay, you bowed. Just about to put you back. Yeah, bro. Like, he does these videos, bro, and he puts himself as a part of the view. And he just sits there and, you know, he's obviously a conservative. And he sits there like, yeah, these things you're saying are stupid. And he explains why they're stupid. So I like him for that. Well, I forgot what the hell his name was, but hey, fuck it. Oh, hold up. It should be right here. Damon Imani. Dude is funny as hell. Hold on. What is this about?
Let me just add to that. And thank you. We just had a
Hold on. His Trump one. I forgot what it's about now. I've been drinking too much, but I still know what the hell I'm talking about for me.
Cabinet meeting, all aligned on certainly the effort to realign the government. But even at the U.S. Department of Agriculture, we've canceled a $300,000 contract educating on food justice for queer and transgender farmers in San Francisco. A similar contract we canceled in New York, again, educating transgender and queer farmers on food justice and food equality. I'm not even sure what does it mean, but apparently the last administration wanted to put our taxpayer dollars towards that. We canceled a $600,000 contract out of Louisiana that was studying the menstrual cycles of transgender men. A $600,000 contract. They have menstrual cycles out of a university in the middle of the country that focused on getting more diversity, equity, and inclusion into our management industry. Again, these are nonsensical. It makes zero sense to use taxpayer dollars to fund these. I know these are just a few examples of the hundreds and hundreds that we've found. Let me just add to that.
Bro, did you hear what all that money was going to? That's what I'm telling you. That whole Democratic, the whole shit she was running on, bro, was for these transgender people, bro. And who supports the transgender the most? Either liberals or fucking women who are liberal. So you sitting there with millions of dollars focused on the farming rights for transgenders or whatever the hell they're supposed to be doing for for observing the menstrual cycles of transgender men. Are we being fucking for real here? More than $500,000? That's what we're allocating our money to?
Yeah, shit crazy.
And I'm supposed to be wrong for being Republican and black? Like, I sit here, I know it, bro. I'm telling you now. I don't care what nobody say. I've lost a few of my buddies, and this is going back to elementary school. People I really I fucked with because of political views. And what I say to them, my nigga, after 40 years almost of friendship, suck my dick. How about that? How about that? Suck my dick. That's how much my friendship and our friendship means to me, because you are willing to do this over politics, and I would never do that. So you can eat a dick wholeheartedly. I hope you choke on it. I mean every word I fucking say. So if it's a problem in the streets, you know I don't mind getting to that at all. You got a problem with me being the way I want to be politically, but I've never had a problem with nobody believing in Allah, Jesus, God, Buddha, whoever they want. I never cared. I don't care about people being Bush supporters, Trump supporters, Obama support. I don't care who you support. Clinton, Washington, whoever the fuck. I don't care. But if you're willing to do that to me, you can eat my dick, the whole thing, and die. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to get paid for this video now. But I still mean it. I don't care how long we've been down. Kindergarten, first grade, second grade, eat my whole cock. To Afghanistan, don't matter. And I'm going to still go to TAF. So I'm going to make sure if it's a problem, I'm going to go to TAF. And we can handle the problems like the man you used to be, you liberal fag. All right, I'm off of that now. And I mean it. I mean, I want somebody to clip this portion. Clip it. And send it to Harlem. I don't care what they feel. New York, the whole North to me, the whole liberal movement is stupid. Y'all are retarded. Y'all are placing feelings over what's right. It don't apply, let it fly. I don't like saying that. I like people to just take in the anger, be angry and stupid. But this is real now, like, and it's actually, it's not annoying. It was annoying at first until I delved into it. So, you know, before you sit there and claim something, you got to delve into it first. And like I said, when I delved into it the first time, when I realized, hey, word, black people started off as Republican. And then I go again, then I find out about Lyndon B. Johnson. And I'm going to delve into it again and again and again and again. I'm never going to support a liberal. I don't mind supporting Democrats because sometimes the beliefs might line up together. But a liberal, I will not. And if you don't like the fact that I'm Republican and I don't believe in people being on welfare for 40 years, being bums, essentially, eat me, blow me. Because it's actually the opposite. I think black people should be higher on the totem pole. Now, if you want to sit here and you want to actually go over who the best race is, the superior race is the fucking Asians. The Indian, Asian, and Asians. India is a part of Asia. The fucking Asians. They commit very little crime. All they do is fucking study and work and go to school. Let's get to that then.
And don't complain.
And do not complain. Now let's get to that.
But they don't complain about shit.
They just go to fucking work because they're already used to harsh conditions. And you might as well call them Republican because why? They had to work for theirs. That's all. That's what Republican means. You worked for yours and shit wasn't given to you. It wasn't given to you. And I ain't had shit given to me. Not a damn thing. I've caught breaks like everybody catches breaks once in a while. But ain't nothing was given to me. I just had to sit here and cram a semester's worth of work in my damn brain in order to get ahead in life in a week. You think I want somebody to eat off of that? You know what the hell? That shit, bruh, studying for that week to put a semester's worth of shit into my brain in 7 days, bro. It affected my body, my nigga. It affected my body. The wife can tell you it affected my body, bro. So you think after all of that, I want somebody to eat for free? Are you fucking kidding me? I don't care what color you are. And then I'm going to go a step further, bro. Because after I finished and I passed all my shit, thankfully, I had to submit a survey. And I said, I think people deserve more time than what you're giving them. I did my part. People deserve more time than what you're giving them to cram all of this stuff into their brain in 7 days. I just did 60 courses, bro. I don't think I told you how many courses. I did 60 courses last week, bro. 60. 60, my G.
Crazy.
And it wasn't 10 minutes, my G. It's like I said, they stuffed a semester worth of work into my brain, bro. Now, I ain't saying can't nobody eat. I'm just saying you better go through what I went through to eat. You know what it'd be like? I had to get an 80 to pass, bro. Normally, everything is a 70 to pass. You know this, like I do. Bro, 80, which means I had to study even harder. And then when am I going to study if I got to wake up the next day and do this shit over and over again, bro? You don't have time. You live in what the hell you reading right now. So to have somebody who think they just deserve it just because they're a woman or a fish or a cow, a dog, or whatever they identify as, hell no. Poor, no, I don't care. No. No. You got to sit there and do 60 courses, and that's not wrong. Because number one, if they chop it down, all right, Doc, they chopped it down to 40 courses. That's 20 courses not learned, which means you are not adept at doing what I'm doing. You get what I mean? That's 20 courses gone. Why the hell would I want to work with you? And then that's where you have the problems with, why do I have to help this person? I'm not getting paid to be a supervisor. That person needs more training. That's what the Republican Party is about. Like, nah, man, I had to do go through trial and error. So do you. Now, can I help you go through your trial and error? Yes, I can. But you're going to do them 60 damn courses like I did. We ain't going, no. I don't care. I don't care. I could lose family. I could lose everybody. I don't care. I'm not going to change what the hell I believe because people's feelings are hurt. Oh, you're black. Yes, I'm black, and we're weak. Generations upon generations of fucking welfare. And then you know what they top it off with? Child support. That's disgusting. It's disgusting. Yo, you know what I'm gonna leave that out. That has nothing to do with nothing. Let me find my boy Charlie Kirk, man. I gotta find Charlie Kirk. Let me find Charlie Kirk.
What do you think it is?
Oh, okay. I did like this. It's not Charlie Kirk, but it's definitely this a young woman. She had purple hair. She was how do you call that? Kind of fit stereotypes. And I sat there and was like, uh-oh, you about to look stupid or sound stupid. But hey, it was me who was stupid.
I'm a former Democrat. You know, all my family are Democrats. I really think I'm the only one of my grandmom's kids, my mom's kids, who are conservative and Republican. And you always feel like they're the enemy. When I went to register to vote as a teenager, and this is what they told us at the voters registration office when they came to talk to us, they said if you're black, register as Democrat. And if you're not, register as Republican, because Republicans only want to take away the benefits from the poor. Well, I was a poor homeless kid growing up, so I was like, I'm not voting Republican. All they want to do is take away benefits that I need. So it's a mind manipulation. Like, it's like a mental slavery because you feel like you're not going to have anything. And it's the truth.
BT was good, bro. But like I said, man, like I'm gonna figure out how to do what I gotta do in terms of putting up footage again. But like she said, like this woman, if you see her, she has purple hair and that shit is not a good look to me. And I was wrong because I prejudged. See that? See how easily I made that? That's why I sat there and played the video. I prejudged her, and I'm thinking this woman has purple hair. She's about to say the dumbest shit that I'm about to hear today. So I apologize to you, Miss Lady, whoever you are, wherever you are. My apologies, and I hope that you take it, with a grain of salt. As I said, I admitted I was wrong. I was very wrong. And you are actually one of my sisters in terms of the party. We're part of the same party. We got to look out for each other. Now I'm going to put up some shit with Ronald Reagan. BT, what's good, bro? I don't know if you heard me. What's good, bro? Put up some shit Ronald Reagan said back in the day, of course. And it aligns with what's happening now.
Ronald Reagan roasting Joe Biden is a thing of beauty.
The man who all his years in the Senate voted against every weapon system except slingshots is now talking tough about our adversaries and the need for national security. You're right. He does. For those of you who are too far away to hear, a lady up here said he doesn't know what he's talking about. She's absolutely right.
Since the left loves digging up Trump's past, they're definitely not going to like this one.
Notorious for his flamboyant lifestyle. Flashy clothes, fancy parties, fine women.
I'm gonna show that. This one I have to show because it made my point about Miss Harris.
Here, a lady up here said he doesn't know what he's talking about. She's absolutely right.
Since the left loves digging
Who's
up
that?
Trump's past, they're definitely not going to like this one.
Who is that?
Notorious for his flamboyant lifestyle.
Who's
Flashy
that?
clothes, fancy parties, fine women.
Who is she? Yeah. Is that your daughter? Is that your father? No, I'm just blowing them in the office. That was Miss Harris, y'all, if y'all didn't see it. You want me to put it back?
Flashy clothes, fancy parties, fine women.
Yeah, damn.
Watch what happens when someone tries to question Mike Tyson's support for Donald Trump.
I'm voting for Trump, so what am I going to do about it?
I mean, I'm going to disagree with you.
So what?
Does it make you feel weird that people...
So what?
Is that weird to you that people freak out about your opinion?
No, they believe I have a lot of followers.
Ronald Reagan roasting Joe Biden.
Come on, bro. I'm with Tyson. What they gonna do about it? Mike, what they gonna do, Mike? Not a damn thing but cry about it. But here's the part that it actually, I shouldn't be angered by it. But when you're a black man and you're a Republican, you're looked at as a Sambo. Not Uncle Tom. There's a difference if people don't know. You got Uncle Tom. He was the, kind of savior of women and black people, whatever. So when you call somebody Uncle Tom, you're giving them a goddamn compliment, idiot. Like I guess that's something that mostly Republicans know. But since slaves, they turned out to be Republican when they were freed. So I guess that's just an in-house thing. But I mean, you saw that lady there, right? You saw Miss Harris, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously she wasn't there. She was there as, is that your father? You heard the girl, bro. Do I have to play it again? No, he's not my dad. I'm just behind the chair doing my thing, making sure I'm relevant somewhere. And I ain't never say the woman is good looking. She is good looking. I don't know what her body measurements are, but as far as facially, she's a good looking woman. So if I'm an old 70-year-old dude, I'm gonna spank that too. And I think she's been spanked quite a lot. I think she's been spanked. And I think if you're somebody that's of a higher status than myself, much higher status, you can dig deep, pause, and you can find out. You can find it's that's why I never went for her. I'm like, yeah, you just trying to have these men think they're women. Women think they're men, and that's insulting to me. I don't understand how a feminist doesn't find that insulting. A feminist. You're all about women, and you got this dude trying to take your job from you. And then here's the bad part. Some of them dudes is more feminine than actual women. That's the bad part. They are more feminine that until they get angry. Then you hear, oh, you think it's a joke? That's when you hear it. But here's some more. Here's some from my boy Don Juan.
What would you do differently, Don?
I'd make our allies, forgetting about the enemies you can't talk to so easily.
This is on
our allies pay the.
This is on an episode of Oprah. So this is back in like the early 90s, maybe late 80s, but early 90s. And if you didn't know, Donald Trump used to be Democrat. He used to be a Democrat, and he saw the error of his ways. He used to be Democrat, yes. And Don Juan, 2018, that bill, he actually fought for the middle class, which would be me and my wife. Together, we're probably upper middle, probably even lower upper, whatever. But he actually fought for the regular people. If you didn't know, because people are so attached to he's racist, he's this, he's that. How about you do some homework before you make these accusations? Do some homework. Here's more Don Juan.
A fair share. We're a debtor nation. Something's going to happen over the next number of years with this country because you can't keep going on losing 200 billion, and yet we let Japan come in and dump everything right into our markets and everything. It's not free trade. If you ever go to Japan right now and try to sell something, forget about it. Just forget about it. It's almost impossible. They don't have laws against it. They just make it impossible. They come over here, they sell their cars, their VCRs, they knock the hell out of our companies. And hey, I have tremendous respect for the Japanese people. I mean, you can respect somebody that's beating the hell out of you, but they are beating the hell out of this country. Kuwait, they live like kings. The poorest person in Kuwait, they live like kings. And yet they're not paying. We make it possible for them to sell their oil. Why aren't they paying us 25% of what they're making? It's a joke.
Tell me, right, real quick, bro. Did Don Juan just sound like a drug dealer? We not getting our 25%. We need our 25%. Hold on, give me a second, bro. Hold it down.
But again, like I don't think it goes on party lines, because I can remember back in the days when Michael Moore, was going after Fahrenheit 9/11. At the time it seemed like that the Iraqis, not the Iraqis, but the Yemen, not the Yemen, the Saudi princes had owned like 17% of the country. You know what I mean? And it's just that, it's a lot of, not politics, but a lot of things that we don't understand as far as government wise, as far as import export shit. You know what I mean? That we not accustomed of, or we don't have knowledge of. So I don't know, bro. This whole political thing, and I don't think Trump is racist, but I also think that he roused up the racist masses. But now it's gonna hit everyday people now. Now it's just gonna hit blacks. Now it's gonna hit whites. It's gonna hit everybody in the pocket one way or another. And if you don't got money to hold yourself down, then you're gonna be in a tough spot. But
appreciate you, bro. Zay. But yeah, bro. I'm mad I ain't hear what you were saying, but
no, I was just saying about the I remember when Michael Moore did his Fahrenheit 9/11 shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And at the time, my knowledge of of what was going on with the country, that the Saudis had owned like 17%, or there's a heavy amount of percent that they had invested inside America, that America like owed to them type of shit. You know what I mean? So I don't know, like now it gets flipped and it's not them no more, and I don't know. There's a lot of things that we don't know within the government, import, export, and things of that nature. I was saying.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna throw some, not sports, but sportscaster goes on. I don't know if anybody's seen Stephen A. Smith. He went on a View. And The View, I tell you, I mean, it's the most liberal show. Any show that's full of fucking women and they all have the same views is liberal as fuck, unless it's not. And if you watch The View, they all like, listen here, man. Right? Here it goes.
5%, one of the smallest ever, and he won the general election by less than 50%. So what kind of mandate is this really?
Well, it is a mandate, and I'm going to explain why. And I don't mind the question, but let me be very clear. I'm no supporter of Trump. I'm a supporter of truth and the facts. And here's the facts. The man won every swing state. He increased in terms of his voter turnout in his favor from the standpoint of blacks, Latinos, and young voters. He increased his numbers in that regard from 2020. 89% of the county shifted to the right. That's a mandate.
I just appreciate a man who just speaks truth. Whether or not he likes the truth that's being spoken, he's saying it. He's like, you guys can complain all you want. You can try to pretend that it wasn't some big mandate, some big victory. It was. Someone said, breaking. Joy Behar now claims Stephen A. is racist, which is a matter of time.
That was a joke, folks. And that's Stephen A. laughing. Because that is, and like a lot of people say, you don't have to support the man, but you can support his politics and policies.
But
because go ahead, brother.
But not even what I took from that was that it's not even that it was his. The people wanted to change, bro. They went hard pause, and I mean real hard, and was like, "Fuck it!" Like we don't want who. It was who. What difference was Harris from Biden? You know what I mean?
It wasn't nothing. It was no difference.
It was no different than what she's saying, what she's trying to run off, and whether underlying it was trans or whatever. But what she was running off in the public opinion was, I could cut down spending, I could cut down the gas, I could cut down food. How if you already in office and we not hearing you say, oh no, we need to stop that. You know what I mean?
See, there you go, bro. That's it. That's exactly what it is. And you know what? I'm glad you segued us to this next video. And it's about, does the Democratic Party truly stand for the working class?
If Democrats are for the poor and the Republicans are only for the rich, well, Trump gets rid of illegal immigrants and cheap labor. Do you think his billionaire friends are happy with him? Oh, I never thought about it that way. And if Democrats are for the poor and they want to help increase the income, middle income, why are they allowing cheap labor to come here that's good for the billionaires but hurts the low and middle? Oh, God. Well, I never thought about it that way before. I mean, this is the arguments that we hear about sometimes being made. But no, if Democrats are really that concerned about increasing the median income, then stop allowing 10 million illegal immigrants to come here. And if Trump's got the brass to get a Tom Homan, who's another gangster, to get everybody to get out who's illegal, and that hurts his billionaire friends that are hiring people for cheap labor, well, then that could be a complete different argument being made saying, hey, what are you doing here? As a kid, I asked my mom, I said, Mom, are we Republicans or Democrats? And she says, we're Democrats. Why? Because Democrats are for the poor, Republicans are for the rich. And I said, when I grow up one day, I want to be a Republican. I just want to be rich. I'm not sick and tired of being broke. If Democrats are for the
now, does that make sense to you, bro? Like, why the fuck would I grow up to be Democratic?
But again, we're not taught to look at it from a different angle. We're taught from looking at it from one angle, and again, we are taught from looking at it from one angle. We are given visual from that one angle. So it's like, okay, we're gonna bottle that up and we're gonna keep it under that. We're not gonna do our homework and see the whole big picture. I mean, well, we learn it because
no, I really hope so, bro.
Because as you see what he just said, like, why would we want, as a Democrat Party, have all these illegal immigrants come in? And that's what I seen very strange in New York City. Well, not only was they giving money to these people that was bused from Texas or from wherever, that came from Mexico or Honduras or whatever. You know what I mean? They was giving money, giving a place to stay, but they had the homeless people on a train and this, that, and the third.
Exactly.
But not only that part, but the part of fast tracking them getting IDs, getting license, getting work permits, so that way they could work. And there's people out there that need a job. People out there that got degrees that could get a job, that need a job, that need shelter, that need ID because their ID done expired. Help these people out. And that's why I think a lot of people turned on the Democrats. Democrats wasn't, down on street level trying to find out what the fuck is going on.
And here's what y'all had the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all had the house. And I do remember that. it was the first time in a while or ever that the Democrats had the House, bro. This was still in the middle of my hustling shit because I think Obama had just got in, bro, and we got the fucking not we, but when I said we, I meant black people. But I was thinking, like, I'm gonna reiterate that. Yeah, we had the House, black people, poor people, and ain't shit changed, bro. Not a motherfucking thing. That's why I'm sitting there. I used to get offended when people used to talk about Barack Obama, but that was me being black. That was me being black and not looking at the politics of things. Now, I also felt that Barack was a figurehead. He was just a guy that they put there to shut people up for a little while, just like they gave people welfare and they cut off segregation so people could shut the fuck up. But we're going to give you this so that you don't even think about going to the next level. And that'd be my whole point of these shows, bro.
Like, I can't knock that part, but I mean, one thing I am going to, whether he was a figure or not, a puppet or not a puppet, but if he was just like thrown out there just to shut us up for a little while, which could be true because that's what the deep state do. But and I just know in my lifetime, and I know the rights of me, reading on the civil rights. Martin Luther King, March in Alabama, Malcolm X, and all these other freedom fighters that nowhere in their given time of life would they have thought that, and this goes for Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton as well, that they would have thought in their given life that they would see a black president. You know what I mean? Because the government and the world wasn't, set up for that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So for Barack to come in and do what he did, that was a historic, astonishing moment, and I'm proud of me being an African American, and I kind of think that what kind of gave me a greater, patriotic feeling of America. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
and he went in there and could have made changes, and he didn't. And not saying that he would, he went in there, wanting to make, mass changes, being the first black president and being like the last one, But, Ray Trump went in there and did it. You know what I mean? It's like my nigga, like you could, excuse me, my man, you could really went in there and did something a lot better. You know what I mean? For us.
Listen, Rose, I'm gonna go far as I'm gonna go as far. I'm gonna defend Barack again because I do believe he had the best intentions. I don't think Barack Obama is really a liberal, but I'm gonna say this: and it's because I have to, because you have to put it out there. The Republicans gave Barack Obama hell with his policies. I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna acknowledge that too, because everything he tried to propose was turned down by Congress. If you sit there and think about it, a lot of the shit that could have really made differences. Maybe me being a constituent or whatever you call us as the people, maybe I don't have, of course, I obviously don't have enough information because otherwise I know the exact, but I'm just going off of, presumptions. He got, the Republicans gave him a hard time, but that shit was for real. You can look that up. With certain policies and shit, the Republicans gave him a hard time. Now, why? I don't know. Maybe they know some, I don't know, obvious. But that's the only thing I can kind of say for Barack Obama. And I do think he wanted to be a great president. I mean, you can consider him great. If he did 2 terms, you're considered great. Back to back, you're considered great because they liked you enough to put you back in the damn office.
I mean, the first time he didn't have the Senate and thing, but second term he did.
Okay. Well, I knew at one point that it was difficult for him. I know that, but it's like didn't he no real. And then basically, it was 3 terms of Democrats in a row. Was it? Who won after Obama? Didn't Biden win after? No, Trump won.
Yeah.
Trump won, then Biden, But still, out of 16 years, y'all had 12 of them. And Joe Biden, when I started digging, bro, all you have to do is just dig dirt on him, bro, and you'll sit there and like, why would I have wanted this man in the office? And why would I want her in the office if you look up her record? All they did was sit there and lock up black people, but I'm wrong for being Republican, but those two Democrats locked up more black people than the law allowed.
Yeah.
But I'm looked at that's why I say, bro, if you can't handle me being and it's not going to change. If you can't handle me being what I am and who I am, and despite, I don't care what you are, who you are. I don't care, bro. Like, it is what it is. We friends because of something else. This is some shit we ain't even got to even delve into if we don't want to. So that's why, as you know, you can blow me. Like the whole thing, choke, gag, almost kill yourself, come up with the red eyes, the tears. I don't care. Because to sit there and look at me like I'm some type of Sambo, but I think black people can do better than what they're doing. I think America as a whole can do better than what we're doing. We sit here catering to delusions and it's real shit happening. I'm going to say it again. We sitting here as a people catering to delusions and it's real shit happening.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all not one party, because your party is split. Like, you know, you got conservative Democrats, you know, like yourself. You sat there, you believe in a nuclear family, you believe in this, that, and the third. You have your God. Am I right? Am I mistaken? It's for the people.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I said nothing wrong about what, you know, you're Democratic, but you're conservative. And there's a such thing as that. I don't want you to be Democrat, but we're not going to put my feelings into the equation.
Put your feelings in the equation. Put your feelings.
All right. Well, you conservative niggas, so we good. So how about that one? You're mostly conservative, bro. Don't shake it, because if people sat there and questioned you on the shit you believe, and you sat there,
I don't categorize myself, you know what I mean? But a lot of people would categorize me, you know what I mean? Like, that's what they do, put people in boxes. But
all right, so here I'm gonna do some observation of Doc. You ain't all that motherfucking militant no more like you used to be.
Nope.
You think I didn't know? We never talked about that.
Nope. You see, I brought it down. I've been brought it down for the last time. But
you don't think you've been brought it down, nigga? You've been seeing that the people that you trying to sit there and defend, they defending themselves. That's all it is. And that's my opinion, brother. I'm gonna let you say why you feel, you know. But for me, you see that the mother flowers that you are defending ain't defending themselves. You basically fighting a fight for people that ain't fighting back.
Nah.
So,
go ahead. No. Well, go ahead. Finish your observation.
No, that's all. Like, see, what you need to defend instead of the black man is the man. The man, not the way that they meant it in the 70s. Oh, that's the man. No, I mean the man with a spine, the man that has his beliefs aligned with yours. You are a conservative, fucking mostly conservative, because I'm mostly conservative. My only separation is the belief in a higher power. No, I don't, but I respect people who do. Like I said earlier, my wife is a believer she's fully conservative. But no, she's partially conservative because sometimes she be having liberal thoughts and I have to educate her a little bit. But yeah, bro, like, you know, a man is a man. A man doesn't deserve, a man shouldn't be competing against a woman in their sports. That's why they have them. You think the man should be the leader of the household. You believe in taking care of your children. You believe in a nuclear family, bro. So, I mean, if I said something wrong, let me know which part, right, that I said wrong.
No, you ain't never wrong, bro.
Exactly. Except your conservatism. You're conservative, bro. Democratic, yes. And I'm gonna keep talking to you more because I think I can this ain't religion. I think I can swing you toward where you need to be, my G. I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you.
But again, like I don't vote across party lines unless I feel that I need a change in the office, which I did back in 20 when Obama first came into office. And I mean, I don't know who the rest of the Democrats was, but I'm going across party lines because I don't like what the fuck Republicans doing, what Bush was doing. I mean, so
Yeah, Bush was sending people to war. I give you that.
you know what I mean? So it came down to that, but again, it goes down who the lesser evils are. Would I have voted for Harris or Trump? I probably would have went to Trump because Harris, like I said, was in office. You in office already, and you're not doing nothing. So what I'll be a stupid fool for allowing myself to press yes on your side, knowing that you could be doing something right now for us as citizens, and you're not doing it. You're gonna wait till January 17th. I could be dead by then, but no, thank you.
Exactly. That man could be deleted. Now, here's I'm gonna put I found my Charlie Kirk video. Charlie Kirk, like I said, is a guy who's a college dropout. He says college is a scam. And it was also something before I knew who the hell Charlie Kirk was, and I'm sure Doc feels the same way. If you ain't going to school for certain shit, college is a scam. Because what I went to college for now, I'm gonna tell y'all this. What I went to college for now, I just basically, and no, this is even pause. This is even deeper than what I went to college for, because I went to college to help kids like me and like Doc, who grew up in a McAdoo or whatever. But it just so happens I'm gonna be now advocating and working with people that were born in, I mean not born, but who would be in Ashford. And Ashford is, you know, the group home for the developmentally disabled. So you mean to tell me I got a job now that I cut getting a bachelor's degree in, I cut that off and I fried my brain for 7-8 days to get the certificates I got. And you mean to tell me somebody in 4 years don't have what I have? Seems like it's a scam. I have the ability. Now I'm gonna keep it 100. Somebody who did go to school for the 4 years, they probably could make about 120. But with what I did, and since I'm in now, I can get myself. All I need is 4,000 hours of work to get. And this is I'm talking about Charlie Kirk, who said college was a scam. If I can remain at my job for 100 weeks, 100 weeks times 40, that's 2 years of on the job training, and I'll be able to be the same thing and get that, collect that 120 to 100 and up per year. Right now, I'm at the point where I'm a beginner. So I do have to, I'm gonna take my wife's advice. I'm gonna relax. I have to accrue some hours before I think I am who I am. But I try to sit there, Doc, I tell you this, I take my experience of living in a fucking group home as on the job experience. You dig what I'm saying, bro? Mm-hmm. Like, you were lucky in a sense that you left before the people came in that were judging us off the shit they learned in school, bro. You was there. Of course, I was there too. But I was fortunate, and you were fortunate. We had the Bats, the Bonitas, the Davis, the people with high school diplomas, but real life experience. Mm-hmm. We had them. But then I also had the Campbells, the Mr. and Miss Campbell, the Miss Wright. These are names you probably don't even know, bro. And they were the ones that were going off the book.
Yeah, that's
and it's like, because you are women, we're gonna respect you because you're women, and we're not gonna, of course, we're not gonna wild out and beat the hell out of women. We're gonna respect that, but we just don't fuck with you like that because you treating us like a book. And Miss Sanders didn't do that. Beans, if you ever get to hear this, Beans, you didn't do that, and I respect you for it. Word. Miss Sanders didn't do that shit. And just like Benita didn't do it, Miss Jackson, I love you, Miss Jackson. They didn't do that to us, bro. When you left, and I probably turned 19, which probably 3 years later, it was like they treating us like book shit, bro. And it became a big ass disconnect where they wasn't our family like Benita and the Batsy. You know who it is, man. You know who it is. Right. They didn't have that family vibe.
But that came from coming out of school, you know what I mean, and not having that experience and knowing that, you know what, I could go off of Bob. I could go off of a relationship, but
Listen,
again, they were
go ahead.
still a lot of them were still young. You know what I mean?
But bro, listen. Now, of course, it doesn't work like that, my nigga. Otherwise, it'd be more single fathers out there because you see the rate at single fathers are the same as mother and father raising a kid. A single father is the same thing. So, and the fact that they still give the baby or the kid to the woman, it's never going to change. Not even the matter on the statistics. But I said that to say, like, why would they sit there and have the people that identify with us help us get better when you can put people with glasses that look down at us like we can't, like we're just pieces of garbage? And it's like, why would you do that? And to me, that's like, because I really don't want a connection of the staff and the client, because we were clients, my G. And now, you know, I'm into this shit, this, you know, my new occupation. I mean, I went to school for it anyway, but my new occupation, bro, we was not motherfucking people to them, bro. Yeah, we were people to a certain extent, bro. We were clients. 4766547. You know what that means? You know what that number is? You know what number? I don't know if you remember yours.
No, I don't remember. 547 something.
Yeah. All right then. Yeah, now I don't even think you're right about that. I think you getting the phone number mixed.
I don't know.
Because you can't be a 5 because a 5 would be after me. Remember, if I'm 47, because I think it's just the number of kids that's in, and that was my number, 476-6547. I was the 476,647th kid. You get what I'm saying? And you were before me, so your number was probably lower. That's if I'm right. I don't know, but maybe. But here, I want to put a video. I got say what you had to say.
No, I don't know. I don't know how they do it. Well, I would think that's the numbers from, you know, the count, like the count type of shit. You know what I mean? Next.
Yeah, I think so, bro.
Next number up.
Exactly, because you know, with the prison, I don't want to get too far into that, so I'm gonna leave that alone. And Charlie Kirk secured my respect and love with this right here.
I want to know if you still think MJ's the GOAT or if your stance has changed.
Do you think it's easier to score points in 2025 or in 1995 in the NBA?
I think it's easier to score points now, most definitely now.
Yeah. Okay, so therefore, when we look at point totals of LeBron, we got to take that with an asterisk, right? When was the NBA more popular, 90s or today?
I think the NBA is more popular today.
No, it's not even close. NBA's gone down. It's a joke. The last 10 years, who's been the face of the NBA?
LeBron.
In the 90s, who was the face of the NBA?
Jordan.
Wait, so Jordan made the NBA more popular, LeBron made the NBA a joke?
No.
You liberal?
He's on verge of collapse. No one wants to watch it. Crowd attendance is down. They got to give away free food. They got to give away free beer. The cable channels are like, basically no one wants to watch it. It's like a 3-point contest. No one plays defense. So the League of LeBron is going into a place of irrelevance. Jordan left the league at the highest ratings ever with a cultural phenomenon we've never seen before. When you go to the inner city, you go to Chicago, you go to Atlanta, do you say, hey, man, are you wearing Jordans? Or do you say, hey, are you wearing LeBrons?
Yo, Doc, I didn't make a post saying I ain't never heard nobody saying, yo, did you cop them new LeBrons?
Yeah, I never.
Who does, bro? Nobody does. Nobody sits there and says, I want the new LeBrons. See, if you're a LeBron fan, I consider you a liberal. If you're a Jordan fan, you know, you're a conservative Republican because you know hard work is what makes you the greatest, not feelings. That shit was perfect. And I just made that up on the fly, Doc. I just made that up on the fly. But tell me that didn't make sense, though. Because the GOAT debate is off of feelings.
Listen, what it is, bro, everybody want to be the greatest. Everybody, it's competition in the world. I mean, separation, bro. Separation. They don't separate us. He's a good basketball player. He's a good basketball player as well. He did whatever he did for his time in the league. He did whatever he did for his time in the league. You know what I mean? Same difference. Same difference, bro.
This dude sounding liberal, man. He get me mad.
I mean, I like LeBron, but LeBron can. You know what? You know why?
Who's the greatest, bro? Who's the greatest? Nah, we cutting off what you saying right now. Who's the greatest of all time, bro?
Now, if I have to put the greatest on anybody, I would have to say LeBron Sprewell. Okay.
You said who? Latrell Sprewell?
Yeah. The way he put his hands across PJ Kwame on her neck and out of here, get out of here. You know, let me stop.
Yo, I ain't gonna sit here and actually, I ain't mad that you said Latrell Sprewell, bro, because I loved Latrell Sprewell pre and post choking. I love Latrell Sprewell, and if I like you when you play on the Knicks, it says a lot. Like I love Latrell Sprewell and Marcus Camby, and I ain't gonna front. I'm glad he did it, but if I was a Knicks fan, I'd be mad. Patrick Ewing should have sat his ass down and came off the bench and let Marcus Camby, Allen Houston, Charlie Ward, and Latrell Sprewell with Larry Johnson. The young team, let them run shit because what you're doing is slowing down the game by still going to the big man who is Patrick Ewing, and Marcus Camby doesn't need the ball. So now you got, people playing on a perimeter and they can do more things. But if we have to stop the game and throw it down to you, you're fucking us up. But we're not going to talk about that any further. That's just me playing basketball. We're going to continue to Charlie Kirk. That's almost over.
And I'll close with this. You know how you are the GOAT? You're the GOAT, but you don't have to keep on playing till you're 40 and get your kid some sort of, special job just because you're a billionaire. That's how you know you're the GOAT. You're the GOAT. You're like, I just won 6. Thanks so much. I'm retiring. Thanks for playing. The GOAT knows he's the greatest, and he doesn't have to keep on.
I want to know if he still thinks.
Come on, B. Come on, B. Yo, Charlie Kirk for president, my man, but he'd never be able to get in. We need to change that too. But, that's another time. That's another story for another time. But, man. Oh, hold up. Who did you say was the greatest? Oh, you said Latrell Sprewell. All right, who's the second greatest? Matter of fact, let's just skip all of this. Who's better? Who's better, LeBron James or Michael Jordan?
I would say Michael Jordan.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
No, but I would say that because, the era
because it's the truth.
The era that he played in, the teams that he played, and how LeBron went about his business inside the NBA as well. You know what I mean? And how Jordan went about his business in the NBA. You know what I mean?
So I respect that. And it's funny when people sit there. Because if you know basketball, LeBron, you would have to put him up there with the greats. But if I sat there and told people, yeah, I think he's the 5th all-time greatest, I'd be looked at like I said something disrespectful.
Nah, but because I would look at you trying to strange too, because you got to put him in the top 3, bro. Like, if you don't put him 1, 2, you know what I mean? And a lot of people would because the era that we grew with, some watch him more than Jordan. You know what I mean? We have see both eras, you know what I mean? And that's one grateful, just like a person would say about Kareem and Jordan, you know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? So that comparison will always be there and will always favor, whatever most that you watch, you know what I mean? But to say LeBron, take away from his thing, I think he get too much flack for a lot of shit that he do, but now some of it is warranted because how he acts, you know what I mean?
He's feminine. Compared to the Warriors from back in the day, he's feminine. No, he's not a rainbow. No, I don't think he's he's just softer than everybody else that we looked up to playing basketball. And that's a fact. He's softer.
He's not an alpha male or a beta male. That nigga's a copper male or something.
He's a sigma. He's a sigma.
You know what I mean? Like, he's different, bro. He's different. You know what I mean?
But everything Charlie Kirk said was a fact. Like, I don't have to keep on trying to, push my career to be the GOAT. I don't have to try to I don't care what nobody says about that shit. That shit was nepotism. His son had a good game in the NBA. Yeah, he scored 17. but he scored 39 in the G League. He belongs in the G League. Let him kill there, get his confidence up, and and remember, like that man is not 6'4". He's not 6'5", like they tried to lie and tell you. He's only 6'2", 6'1.5", 6'2". He has to learn to play the point guard. That's what he has to do if he wants to succeed. He has to learn to play the point guard, and I don't think he can.
Well,
I mean, not right now,
because
he's a young boy. So I'm not saying he can't succeed in the NBA. No, he can. He just has to know his role. Will he become a starter one day? I believe he can. I believe he will. But I think he's going to be a starter the same way that it took some people who were on the bench 4 years before they became starters. Like, what's my man? Jermaine O'Neal was on the bench for like 3-4 years. You could have actually went to college. But Jermaine O'Neal, I think he was poor. So, you jump to the NBA because, you want to feed the family. LeBron James Jr. is not poor. He did not come up poor. He could have went to USC for at least another year. And it is what it is. But I'm going to get back to, my Republican folk.
This is what Democrats are fighting to save.
Hold up. This is the money. Did I play this already? The money that was spent on stupid shit? Hold on, I'm going to put it up anyway.
$1 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces.
$20 million for Iraqi Sesame Street.
$11 million to tell Vietnam to stop burning trash.
$70,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland.
$2 million for Moroccan pottery classes.
$27 million to give gift bags to illegals before we deport them.
But wait, there's still more.
$47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia.
$330 million to help Afghanis grow crops.
That's all my money.
That's all your money.
$32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru.
We also gave Afghanistan $300 million to build diesel fuel power plants, but they couldn't use them because diesel was too expensive.
$40 billion for electric carports. 8 ports have been built. You know how crazy.
He got cut off. But yeah, that shit crazy. There you go.
To tell Vietnam to stop burning trash.
$70,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland.
$2 million for Moroccan pottery classes.
$27 million to give gift bags to illegals before we deport them.
But wait, there's still more.
$47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia.
$330 million to help Afghanis grow crops.
That's all my money.
That's all your money.
$32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru.
We also gave Afghanistan $300 million to build diesel fuel power plants, but they couldn't use them because diesel was too expensive.
$40 billion for electric carports. 8 ports have been built. You know how crazy that is?
Super duper crazy. I don't know about you, but as an American taxpayer, I don't want my dollars going towards this crap.
This is what Democrats are fighting to save.
Crap.
Crazy.
Crap. Bruh. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, yeah, I get it. We supposed to think about our brothers and sisters. I ain't my brother. If you're a bum, you're not my brother or sister, because that means if you're my brother or sister, that means you got to work to pay bills. You got to work to become something in life. So all that, you my brother because you black and my sister because no, you just a bum. You're a bum. That goes for white people too. You're a bum because of course they're the majority. So of course more of them are on welfare too. More on welfare than everybody else because they're the majority. But they're bums. Trash. They have a name for them. What's it called? White trash. So why can't I point out black trash? You are trash. If you sat there, you third generation welfare, you ain't changed the cycle. You living off of welfare and off of child support. You're a bum. And I feel sorry for the dude that made it possible for you to get child support from him because he was stupid. But it happens. It happens. It happens. It does happen. You can't tell them, women today don't know that they're not supposed to be leaders in the home. They don't have equal say. They don't have any of that. And it's the book that they push. It's Christianity. It's the Muslim faith. It's Catholicism. All of those faiths sit there and say the man is the head of the household. So that means if you don't agree with that or you think that shit should be equal 50-50, then you're just going against your whole religion. Now, for me, if you sit there and say you want to be an equal, then you're going to pay like you weigh. You want to be the equal? All right, our bills come out to $2,000 a month. So I'm going to need that grand. So all that, I'm too tired to go to work. We're not going to be able to hear that because I'm going to need that $1,000. Yo, Doc, appreciate you for coming through. I know you got to get to bed. You got to go to work tonight.
Yeah,
but appreciate you for coming through. You know what I mean?
Yo, peace, y'all. Thanks, chat. Make sure you hit the like button and support. Thanks for the support. And Jack, you already know. Whenever you got your shows, I'm out here. You know what I mean? See you next time,
Yes,
bro.
sir. Yo, hold it down, bro. Appreciate you.
Salute.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna go through a few more videos before I get up out of here. This is Candace Owens, and me and her are kind of the same. Only thing, I didn't marry a white woman. I married a black woman, but I made sure she was conservative and along the lines of what I believe in. But this is what it's like to be a black conservative now.
It's always a joke.
What's it like being a black conservative in America? Nobody better ask this question than you.
Honestly, it's a hell of a lot easier than it was when I first got into this back in 2015 because that was the first time they saw Trump and people just could not see past how could this possibly happen. And I think the media had a stronger hold on people's minds then than it does now. Now we've seen the explosion of independent media. People are able to get their voices out outside of the New York Times and CNN and Fox News, and that's helped tremendously to defeat all of these media caricatures that are being created. But I find it now, it's pioneering, to put it in a nice way. And I think it's the most rewarding thing ever when what I have found is that if you just stand for truth, even in the beginning when it's really hard and people say terrible things about you, and I've been called everything you could possibly imagine, then there's that moment, even if it takes years, where they do come back and they say you were right, particularly about BLM. I mean, I was hitting the drum about the finances so early, and I'm going, I'm not saying that you don't have feelings about this thing, but I am telling you something else is going on, and this is going to harm the black community in the end. This money is just going to be zapped out of communities, and communities are going to be destroyed. And then when that was proven right, it was so refreshing to hear people say, yeah, we kind of hated her for a really long time. We're kind of saying this for a really long time. And then,
I'm gonna speak a little bit about Candace Owens. I love Candace Owens. Candace Owens is a traditional woman. She believes in the nuclear flame. She's a black conservative, and her beliefs align with mine. Now, what people have the problem with is that Candace Owens doesn't mind talking about black people. Neither do I, because Candace Owens wants the betterment of black people. She wants black people to do better than what they're doing. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's why I've always stood by Candace Owens once I realized what she was about. And I will never think it's wrong to side by someone who believes in tradition. Now, we, as a people, we have gone far away from tradition. Like, example, with marriage, black people, of course, we weren't really allowed to get married, but that's what they had to jump in the broom. You were married spiritually and it meant something. Now, when black women want to get married, for the most part, it's basically just to secure some type of monetary value from it, aka child support. So it's like we've went very far away from tradition. And I don't think it's wrong for me personally to not appreciate that, because I really don't.
Go play with your device.
I really don't. I don't appreciate that. I won't appreciate that. I wasn't raised on that. See, it's crazy. I hate to talk about my moms, man, but my moms used to really tell me, like, my generation wasn't shit without saying that. And she mostly used to talk about what I was going to have to deal with in terms of females. And she always used to tell me, these women think they men and this, that, and the third part. And I'm sitting there like, that's not true. You just old. She was so right. She was so right. And I wish she was here now, because I would secretly film her and then pretend I don't know and then ask her questions. Pardon me, this LIQ gave me the hiccups. Oh, here's more Candace Owens. Because now I remember where I was at.
These colors and what they were doing with the money and going on. And this is going to harm the Black community in the end. This money is just going to be zapped out of communities, and communities are going to be destroyed. And then when that was proven right, it was so refreshing to hear people say, yeah, we kind of hated her for a really long time. We're kind of saying this for a really long time. And then, you know, the fraud of Patrice Colors and what they were doing with the money. And so my brain just works differently. I am different, and I'm happy being different. I don't want to be the same. But I also do respect, I think I've learned in the process as well, is to just respect where people are at. You know, my sisters did not like where I was at when I started speaking in the way that I was speaking.
How many sisters do you have?
I have two sisters, and they're my best friends. So one is a year older, one's a year younger. So we're like a trio.
So they sandwich you. They sandwich you. They sandwich you, huh?
Well, they just didn't really care. Right. You know, to me, that's Candace. I've always been different, you know, right. And they didn't know what I was on or what I was thinking. And now, this last election, they voted for Trump, which is crazy. Like, that means they were fully on the left, and they just sort of saw it. And so it's just been cool to see that. And they now like my podcast. Before they didn't even listen to it. But we always had, I grew up obviously not obviously, but my family has a great sense of humor. And that was one of the worst things I hated about BLM, is that I've always thought that Black people culturally, we're the funniest. We're the funniest. You always want to go listen to Chris Rock, Chris Tucker. And you saw that removal where everything was just taken so seriously. We're so easily offended. And I hated that. I thought the best parts of what the Black culture represented to me growing up was removed. And for me, my sisters, they never cared. Like, I'd be like, can you watch my cat? I have to go to a Trump thing. And my sister would be like, oh, are you going to another one of your Klansman rallies? Like, yeah, I'll watch your cat. You know, it's always a joke.
That's why I said what I said. Like, it's crazy. Like, you want to bother me because of my beliefs. But I don't, and I would never bother anybody because their beliefs. And Candace Owens, being a Black woman, she understands what it is when you're on the right wing. It's called right wing for a reason. It's called right wing for a reason, because we're right. Basically, Basically, the Democratic Party, when it comes to politics, is facts over feelings. The Republicans are facts, and the Democrats are feelings. And that's horrible, because why do your feelings like, your feelings shouldn't play a part if there's a fact presented to you. Because for me, like, if somebody tell me the stove is hot, that's a fact. But if I feel that you turned it off 5 minutes ago and it's cool now, that's a feeling. I feel. And then when I touch the stove, boom, the fat comes into place. It's still hot. So it's like, yeah, I'm not going for that. And then the funny shit is, people want to look at you like you are a Sambo. I'm a Sambo because I want the betterment of black people, and welfare is just a fucking crutch. Welfare, child support, all that shit is a crutch. I feel automatically, if the child is, if everything is supposed to be for the best interest of the child, it's supposed to automatically be split support. Right there. You should be going for split rights, split but equal rights, instead of a dude paying child support and he can actually take his child and raise him or her half of the time. It's bullshit. Now, is that a woman's problem? No. But women make it easier for them to make bullshit up like this by thinking they're supposed to be on welfare and child support like it's a right. Because if you sat there and told these women, listen, if that man told you no, he didn't want to have a kid, and you sat there and had the kid, you're on your own, then I bet you these women wouldn't have these children. And everyone will, oh, he said this, that, and the third. All right. If it was garbage, you should only fell for it once. Shouldn't have fell for it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. So that doesn't make me a damn Sambo or Uncle Tom for the idiots who think Uncle Tom is bad. That don't make me that. That make you weak. Like, why would I want to bring children into the world and have them on welfare? No, your mother works, your father worked. We got money together. We made it so that we don't have to be in these neighborhoods. And we want you, as our offspring, to strive to not be in these neighborhoods. But we had to work. Me and your mother had to work. So, yeah, I believe in people working hard. That's what Trump is about. That's what the Republicans are about. The man gets up, he takes his ass to work. Now, conservatives might be more about the woman staying at home. No, I don't need my woman to stay at home, but if she wanted to, I would try to make it so that she can. But she'd have to understand, like, listen, I'm going to hardly be here because you might be carrying for 2 in a minute, but I'm going to be working for 3. So I might not be able to be here. And it's not the same. Back in the day, women would appreciate that. Like, yeah, the dude is only here for fucking 9 hours a day so he can go to sleep, but we have everything we need. That's not respected anymore. Women think that they're supposed to sit up, make money because they're allowed to. They're allowed to go to college. They're allowed to pursue careers. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. But if you sat there and pursued a career, then you need to pony up them greenbacks. You ain't no stay-at-home mother. You think you have the right to go out and pursue a career. You have the right to go out and make money. So go out and do it. Now, if you want to hold down a household, then you need to spend that money. It ain't no tradition once you go to work. Traditional is out the window. You went to work. Traditional is you staying home, off your feet and pregnant. Once you're not off your feet and pregnant anymore, it's, yeah, pony up them greenbacks. Because ain't no man, ain't no stupid man, or matter of fact, let me say, a man that can get women ain't going for your shit. And those are the men that you want. You want the men that sit there and they can get women because they popping. Better go get you a Ernest, a Eugene. Better get you one of them dudes that's just, they already ready to be stepfathers. Because as a popping dude, why would I sit there and help you raise your kids when I can inject my kids to another woman? I mean, really. Nobody thinks like that. That's not my problem at all. And it's never going to be my problem. I'm not going to sit there and defend you. I'm not, because people want equality. Liberals want equality, but Republicans know that with equality comes being a man, being something that you're not. And if you want equality, then you need to show that you want equality. Suit up, get out there and die on the field like men. You don't hear about no 10, 15, 20% of the soldiers dead with women. No, you won't. 2 or 3. And I'm being generous because I think it's about 1. Only 1% of soldiers were women who actually died in combat. Am I supposed to? I respect those women, but does that make it a thing for the other 100 million? No, it doesn't. I'm not going for that. And that's what the problem is. I'm not going for that at all. Now, before I get out of here, I'm gonna let this story. Elon Musk. He's telling you about your Democratic Party.
Elon, how are you? I'm Jesse Waters. Good to see you. I'm not going to beg for you to come on my show. I know it'll happen eventually. You said the other day you uncovered some evidence that there was massive Social Security fraud and that arrests were imminent. Yes. What can you tell us about that? And what can you tell us about what you've seen politicians do to make massive amounts of money off of the federal government, like Nancy Pelosi? Please.
Yes. So we've been kind of, there's really so much for it. It's deciding what should be prosecuted first, because it's such a long list. You have to actually prioritize the list. We convey the list to the Department of Justice. The DOJ has a process that they go through to review and think about it. The wheels of justice turn slowly. In fact, obviously, I have a maniacal sense of urgency. So to me, when I see that terrible fraud has happened, I'm like, why haven't we arrested someone already? But as the saying goes, the wheels of justice turn slowly but surely. And I think probably the person that stole 400,000 Social Security numbers, at least, maybe more, will be arrested hopefully this week. With respect to the non-governmental organizations, these sort of fake NGOs, I think there needs to be a number of arrests in that regard as well, because these are fake charities where mostly Democrats. I don't want to be clear. There's sometimes a little bit of Republican in there, because they sometimes throw the Republicans a bone to say, "Hey, be quiet about this." So that's where you start getting the uniparty thing going on. But it is overwhelmingly to Democrats, and they give these billions of dollars to NGOs run by Democrats that then go through a whole network of additional NGOs. It's a giant money laundering scheme. Really, at this point, I think the word NGO and money laundering is almost synonymous.
Elon, how are you? I'm Jesse Waters. Good to see you. I'm not going to beg for you to come on my show.
And I mean, it was crazy. As far as the Social Security scamming and scams go, you had people who were 200 years old. Really? There's nobody alive 200 years old. There's nobody alive that's 130. If they are, they ain't collecting Social Security. They living somewhere where they're living like the indigenous people. So you ain't going to see them. You're not going to see them. And there was so much money being shelled out through Social Security, and these people are dead and gone. So where's that money going? Who's collecting the money? That's Social Security fraud. Who's collecting the money? Somebody tell me, who's collecting the money? Exactly. A third generation bum. Bum. And it's crazy that those checks are able to be cashed. You're a bum. I'm going to call a bum a bum. You're a bum. You on welfare 5, 10, 15, 20 years. You're a bum. This America don't need any more bums. Y'all are bums. Taking up space. You should be gone. You should be maybe not off, but you need to be gone because a person like you is a bum. You're not making the world any better. You're a bum. And my opinion on that will never change. You're a bum. Now, here's a Democrat, because, you know, I like to respect respectful people. So I got a couple of more videos before I get up out of here. Namely, maybe 3.
Now, states can begin to bar food stamp recipients from using federal funds to pay for sugary drinks. RFK Jr. announced the change Friday, making good on a core component of his Make America Healthy Again movement. Interested governors must submit a waiver to the Agriculture Department, where Secretary Brooke Rollins has already agreed to grant them. Now, states can begin to bar food stamp recipients from using federal funds to pay for sugary drinks. RFK Jr. announced the change Friday, making good on a core component of his Make America Healthy Again movement. Interested governors must submit a waiver to the Agriculture Department, where Secretary Brooke Rollins has already agreed to grant them. Now, states can begin to bar food stamp recipients from using federal funds to pay for.
And why is that not a good thing? I'd be looked at as a Sambo for sitting here saying that's a great thing. This country already is suffering from obesity. What creates obesity? Well, sugar is one of the causes. Sugar is definitely one of the causes for obesity. So, I mean, if I'm for my people, and then the funny part is, it's knocking on 80% of Black women are overweight or obese. 70% of Black men, me being one of them, I am overweight, but at least I am 6 feet tall. And I mean, overweight is overweight. Don't matter. It don't matter. I'm one of them. I am overweight. It's not a good thing. It's never a good thing to be overweight or obese. And we have the feelings over facts movement going. So now you have the, but it's a nice person. We're not supposed to judge like, yes, we can. Because before we would, because being overweight and obese says a lot about your character. It means you're lazy and you don't care much. Says a whole lot about your character. See, at least me being a dude, now it's no excuse, but I respect the heavy man more than I do a heavy woman, because a heavy woman ain't doing no protecting at all. Isn't that what women want? Protection and provision? Shit, if you're 300 pounds, then I expect you to be on the front line with me. I'm not 300 pounds. I'm not even 250. I'm not even 220. I'm about 6 feet, 215, and that's overweight to me. It is overweight. So for you to think I'm gonna sit there with and not say something about a woman that's 5 feet, 5'2", 5'4", 5'6", 280 pounds, like that's disgusting. That's not nothing to be proud of. And the fact that America is the only country that's proud of shit like that, or they made up shit. Oh, fat shaming, body shaming. No, fat shaming should be a thing. You did that to yourself. Just like slut shaming. You did that to yourself. So I'm going to always make fun of it because you did that to yourself. Body positivity. No, you sat there and made yourself fat. You sat there and abused food. You will not get no love from me. Sorry. Sorry, but not sorry. You wanted to be a fat ass and you got what you wanted. Here's more of my boy Charlie Kirk.
Do you believe that the Constitution's the best document in political history?
Greatest political document ever.
There you go.
Thank you.
I want to know, how is it possible to believe that when it's based on racist principles? They describe indigenous peoples as merciless Indian savages. They don't describe African Americans as full people, and they don't even recognize other people of color and other minorities that we see today. So I just want to know how you think it's possible to believe that's such a great document.
Thank you for the question. Where does it say that in the document? No, keeper. Where does it say that in the document?
I'm sorry, what?
Where does it say what you said in the actual document?
I'm not entirely sure.
It
but
doesn't.
No.
It said, you know what it does say? Provide for the general welfare of all people. I prefaced when I talked about the United States Constitution, you know what's amazing is the amendment process. I love the story of Thaddeus Stevens, who fought like hell to make sure that blacks could have the right to vote. I love the story of the Republican Party, which was founded in 1860 as an anti-slavery party. I hate what happened to indigenous people under Democrat presidents. I do. Here's why it's the greatest document ever. Is because in a land with so many different backgrounds and languages and cultures in this room, from all over the world, we can peacefully have a conversation while all that's protected simultaneously. While we can agree to disagree, we can have this conversation. What you said is nowhere in the founding documents at all. What you said is what's some of the prejudices that was in the people of the founding fathers. This is called a logical fallacy. Tell me why the document is not correct. Don't tell me the sins of the authors. It's a big difference.
Everybody knows you never go full retard.
But that's my boy Charlie Kirk. I love Charlie Kirk. Like I said last week, like the only thing Charlie Kirk is wrong about is about white privilege. And maybe he's not looking at it from the way that I'm looking at it. But white people do have certain privileges. Well, a specific privilege, because it's the same with women. What can whites do that blacks can't? You can do the same shit, same everything. Now, where it differs is perception. When people see a black person, they perceive a threat. Now, Charlie, I know you're never going to hear this, but like I said last week, if you and I were walking down the street at the same time, in the same place, just you being a white guy and me being a black guy, I'm going to get effed with more likely than not than you would. I'm definitely going to, can we see your eye? I'm going to go through those. You, they're going to drive by you more likely than not. 7 out of 10 times, maybe even 8, they're going to go drive by you. And you're going to have to deal with them maybe 25% of the time. Me, it's reverse. I'm going to have to deal with them 75% of the time to your 25. And that'll be the 100% right there. And these are facts, Charlie. I fucks with you. Like 95, probably 95, maybe 99% of the things. Because right now, that's the only thing I don't agree with you with. And, you know, I'm not a religious person, so I don't even put that in the equation because it's NA for me. And maybe abortion is probably, it has some gray areas for me. It has some gray areas. Some, not many, but some. But yeah, Charlie, 2.5 times out of 10, you're gonna be stopped. But 7.5 times out of 10, I'm gonna be stopped. I'm gonna be bothered. And it's like if I'm in a middle class environment where mostly I've been, for the most part, since my tour of Georgia, I've been in middle class, upper middle class environments. But soon as you go into those upper middle class, lower high class places, Dunwoody, that area, Dunwoody, Sandy Springs. If your primary hospital is Northside, then you're probably living in one of those higher where you have concierges, a concierge in the building to greet you. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. And I also feel if I want to be in that position, I need to work harder. Me and my wife need to work harder. It is what it is. But yeah, when I made my movements toward the upper class, where people owned homes, many mansions, and gated communities, if I didn't drive a damn BMW, I think in some of the places, yeah, I was looked at different. They see the BMW, so they assume I'm a white guy driving to the neighborhood. Nope. I'm just a part-time DoorDasher who works at Northside Hospital. And I know that this area, y'all tip well. That's all it was. The Northside Hospital area, which is Dunwoody, Sandy Springs, areas like that, on to Roswell, Alpharetta, Johns Creek, Peachtree Corners, y'all tip well. Y'all tip very well. And I used to live in Peachtree Corners, so I know if you have a 2-family, 2-income home, you're living quite nicely, depending on what you're making. And now I know what we're making in this. We live in Decatur, so this 2-income home, we doing pretty damn good for ourselves. And in a minute, we're gonna be doing even better. But as far as the Democrats go, all of that shit is up top. All of the blue states is like, hey, y'all are bugging. But now when you throw the blue states under a microscope, it becomes here you go. They want to show the red states, and the president and the House wants to show, hey, tell me where you allocating this money to. Who are you allocating this money to?
How much did your city spend on illegal immigration? Do you have a round number?
Over the last couple of years on all newcomers, whatever their status was, it's around 79 million since 2022.
79 million. Mayor Johnson, Chicago. How much has the city of Chicago spent on illegal immigration?
If you're referring to the 2022 up to 2024 of the buses coming from Texas, roughly the same percentage of the state of Texas, about 1% of our overall budget.
What is that? Because I don't have the city's budget in front of me. Numbers.
It's 1%, and if you want the actual calculation, we can make sure someone.
You're the mayor. You don't have the math in front of you.
It's 1% of the overall budget over the last 4 years.
That's why you're a failing
which
mayor.
is the same number that
how
was
much
sent
did the city
from
of New York actually spend on illegal immigration? Mayor Johnson, I already asked you. You don't have a hard number, and if you don't have a hard number, you're not running your city well. Mayor Adams, how much did the city of New York actually spend on illegal immigration?
6.9 billion of taxpayer.
$6.9 billion of taxpayer money on a problem that was fostered on the American people. Mayor Wu, in the city of Boston, how much did you spend?
We don't ask about immigration status and dual
You don't ask about how much money the city of Boston has spent on illegal immigration? Are you out of your mind?
Between immigration status.
Do you manage your budget or not, Mayor Wu?
That is how we keep
Mayor
our
Wu,
state.
how much did your city
And I mean, they were sounding horrible. You don't know how much you don't know how much y'all are spending. Your city is spending on your state is spending on, well, as mayors. Your city is spending on illegal immigration. illegal immigration is never a good thing. I get looked at for that. Like, and this is another thing that I got from my mom. Like, this country worries so much about other nations when we have problems here that need addressing. I definitely know that my mom's is a Republican conservative. Definitely. Because she hated oh boy, she hated my generation more than I do now. Because now I see what she meant. Like, we are weak. We are a very weak generation. And my mom was born in 1933. Yeah, she had me very late. She was born in 1933. And like I said, when I was coming up, I'm sitting there like, yeah, you bugging. You don't know what you're talking about. But in reality, she knew exactly what she spoke of. Shout out to Mom Dukes. Shout out to Mom Dukes. I got another video I found, and it's about the government. Okay, here we go.
Was the source of all my problems. When I was 16, my parents took me to Planned Parenthood. They tried to come into the doctor's office, but when they followed behind me, the nurse stopped them and asked if I wanted them in the room. I said no. The doctor explained all the side effects of testosterone that I already knew. I smiled and said I was ready for my first shot. My parents were brought back in, and they were essentially told that I had made the choice. Their only role was to sign the paperwork. I took testosterone for 3 years. When I was 16, my voice dropped to a baritone range. When I was 17, I started losing hair. When I was 18, I started my application for the University of Montana. I had to apply for a dorm room. I knew I wasn't male and didn't want to live with a man, but I couldn't possibly fit into a female dorm room with a beard, chest hair, and a baritone voice. I felt like I didn't fit in as a man or as a woman. So when I was 19 in my first week of college, I detransitioned. Of course, I ignored the risks. I was 16 and invincible. Even if I had known testosterone would give me prediabetes, high blood pressure, early onset osteoporosis, and even an increased risk of sterility, I wouldn't have said no. In my mind, there was no other option. Kids are not able to fully understand the life-changing consequences of hormones. I was unable to see into the future, but I shouldn't have been expected to in the first place.
This is what Harris
just because kids insist that they will never change their mind doesn't mean it will never happen. These hormones will have lifelong effects on their bodies, their minds, their future romantic relationships, and their social belonging. Please pass House Bill 682 so the kids like me who didn't understand the life sentence they signed up for will be able to get justice. Thank you.
Thank you. Further proponents.
Was the source of all my problems.
And that's what the Democrats ran off of. And this is my theory. Democrats ran off of this because females will sit there and accept anything because they're emotional. And then most females, or a lot, are single mothers. So some of them are slick enough to say, well, people look down on me. Why would I not root for a person that other people root down on? So now you got them mixed with the identifiers, whatever you want to call them, the community, trans community, not rainbow, because like I said, man, I don't like to explain myself. I like people to just take where, nobody cares about someone being gay. Gay is gay. I don't care what you identify as. You are in the gay relationship as the top or bottom. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So if you start putting minorities together, they become a majority. The only thing was some women who were, more conservative than liberal actually helped Trump win this race, because Democrats and Republicans alike, men, were voting for Trump. Trump had the man vote because Kamala Harris ran her campaign off of the feelings of transgender people, the 1%. So when the 1% aligns with women who have more, they're a bigger population than men, then she thought that would be enough for her to win. The transgenders and the women vote. But luckily, some of the women, the 5%, maybe 7%, whatever that amount was enough to get a conservative president back in the office and to eliminate that libertarian bull, because it is bull. And it's not frowned upon because that's how people raise their children. Laissez-faire. Hey, he has the right to express. No, if he's bugging out, there's no right to express yourself. You're bugging. There is a right or wrong. See, it seems like the left goes for feelings. That's why y'all are called the left. Y'all are the left. You go for feelings. And the right, because we're right, go off of facts. And being conservative, it just means you believe in a nuclear family. You believe in the man is the head of the household. That's what it is. Women swear up and down they believe in the Bible, but how are you going to believe in the Bible and then say you can be is equal to a man? You don't believe in the Bible, obviously. So let's stop that right there. Let's stop that right there. That's why I was like, yeah, I'm not trying to hear y'all at all. I really don't even care what they have to say. I don't care what people have to say about me. I really don't. And it's okay. But yeah, I think you guys heard enough. I'm about to get up out of here. But I appreciate everybody who came through.
White person gets shot.
All right. Yeah. I'm not even gonna front. This is my last 3-minute video.
I don't want to do that. But when you take these positions, does it enter your mind? I don't want to use the word vitriol because I think that's a bit too strong and that's unfair to you, and I don't want to do that. But when you consider the fact that so many people in the black community have voted Democratic since the civil rights legislation in 1964. Remember what Lyndon B. Johnson said, that, you pass this legislation and we'll have the Negroes vote for us for the next 200 years. Remember that statement? I know I remember that statement. I'm wondering, because of your knowledge of politics, your obvious knowledge of the issues, when you speak on these things and you take positions about you take such positions, particularly if it's antithetical or the antithesis of what the black community will point to, do you think about it and do so on purpose because, dare I say, you're disgusted with us as a community for being hoodwinked by the Democratic Party in your eyes? Is that possible?
So that's a very good question. And disgusted would not be the right term for it. Frustrated, yes, and constantly trying to give people the facts so that they understand that Lyndon Baines Johnson was an avowed racist and he hated us, and yet we are doing everything that he wanted us to do. We are reacting emotionally and not rationally. We seem to be a stereotype of irrationality, actually. All we have to do is make them feel something and they won't react. And I want to be clear, it's not just Black Americans. The Me Too movement was another manifestation of that. That's why I'm doing this Harvey Weinstein series. But what really does upset me about the Black community is that the manner in which we defend criminals, you will not find this in any other community. Okay, so white person gets shot, killed, unarmed. They're not coming out. White people are not coming out and burning down their own neighborhoods, right? They're going to be
Did you see the black community attack me for going off about OJ being celebrated? Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. They conditioned us to actually defend the worst in our communities. They just would let it go. You think Chinese people are going to run outside if they're like, well, listen, this guy was high on fentanyl. He got into a brush up with police officers and he died. Chinese people will be like, especially Asian moms are just dead serious. They'd be like, you idiot, you know, good for you. So you're an embarrassment. Never come home. This is how Asian women are. They have a standard. You think Jewish people are coming outside and gonna, rally around? No. They all know that they think of that as like a natural process. We don't want to associate with that. And we have the exact opposite mindset. And when I say the exact opposite, I mean also the reverse of that being that the most educated and the most accomplished people in our community, in terms of their intellect, we reject. How can we ever get ahead, right? Oh, Condoleezza Rice, no, she's a traitor. She's Uncle Tom. Clarence Thomas, Supreme Court Justice, he's a traitor. He's an Uncle Tom. But Dr. Ben Carson, a literal brain surgeon. Black people will call him stupid. It's crazy. So who do you think fired the shot?
I don't know.
You don't know, but you don't believe it was Lee Harvey Oswald.
Oswald was not the intellectual author of Kennedy's death, even if he fired a gun that day.
Who do you think was the intellectual author of Kennedy's death?
Kennedy's enemies high in his own government is as specific as I can be based on the available evidence. Probably CIA and Pentagon.
So who do you think fired the shot?
I don't know.
You don't know, but you don't believe it was Lee Harvey Oswald.
Oswald was not the intellectual author of Kennedy's death, even if he fired a gun that day.
Who do you think was the intellectual author of Kennedy's death?
Kennedy's enemies high in his own government is as specific as I can be based on the available evidence. Probably CIA and Pentagon.
So who do you think fired the shot?
I don't know.
You don't know, but you don't believe it was Lee Harvey Oswald.
Oswald was not the intellectual author of Kennedy's death, even if he fired a gun that day.
Who do you think was the intellectual author of Kennedy's death?
Kennedy's enemies high in his own government is as specific as I can be based on the available evidence. Probably CIA and Pentagon.
So who do you think fired the shot?
I don't know.
You don't know, but you don't believe it was Lee Harvey Oswald.
Oswald was not the intellectual author of Kennedy's death, even if...
All right, my bad, y'all. But I'm about to get up out of here now. I appreciate everybody who tuned in. Y'all be good, man. Y'all have a good morning, good afternoon, good night.
With the game, I'm standing out in the crowd. Also, gotta stack that case out my belt. Got the beats banging, speakers bumping loud. I'm the king of the game, standing out in the crowd. I'm so hard, gotta stack that cash. Yellow tape wrapped around, I'm making a splash. My flow so hot, it's burning up the scene. When I step into the room, you know what I mean. Yellow tape, yellow tape, yellow tape. We on fire, we the ones in charge. Ain't none time. Turn it up, let the beat drop low. Yellow tape everywhere, it's our time to show.
Practice. I can show you practice. I can show you how to put $1 million in a mattress. I can show the difference between an icon and a classic. Baby in the major should be rolling in a basket. I'm advanced, and it's a lot of dance. From anywhere, my jewelry jump like Ja Morant. And Kif Tower shorts got me tanning with the babes. You would be a surfer if you ever had this wave. I just switch up my cabana, they throw shade. Matter top 5 and top wives, know I'm the fade. And throw them out the loop, I be mute, playing cute, nothing to say to you. Cause when I'm back home, I'm like Kyrie, I won't play with you. This is magic with the fur. Tim Duncan on the spur. Tanya Harton on the skates. This that Kobe number 8. This the kick over the head in the hand of Sue Bird. This boy's superb. All I got is 2 words.
Tony, Jack. Y'all be good. I'm out.